Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to Not Quite Blood of the Void. We are going to switch things up tonight, and instead of playing Klingons, we're playing TOS Starfleet officers. This one shot is going to be helmed by the esteemed Quincy Surasmith. And does anyone have any announcements they need to say before we get started? No? I have an announcement. I am directing and producing a new show with my group, Ripley Improv, which is an improvised monster hunting monologue show. It's going to be at twitch.tv/Ripley Improv. Opens May 7th, but this Friday at 6 p.m. in our normal show slot, we're doing a little preview show. So you'll get to see some of the art of the show and just hear about my influences and how some of the actors are navigating doing this type of show. Check us out, twitch.tv/Ripley Improv. Also, next week at our same time slot, our dear sister show, Clear Skies, is doing a TOS one-shot. So we're getting 2 weeks of the original series, doubleheader. So come back, check us out, get your fill of TOS. And now I'm going to, before I hand it over to Quincy, we're going to roll our opening credits.
Captain's Log, Stardate 4983.3. Captain Akash Mehta in command. USS Inquiry has been assigned to the Taria sector, where its sister ship, the USS Eureka, was last heard from before losing contact. The Eureka is carrying crucial scientific data survey information from its mission. If we are not able to determine the fate and whereabouts of the crew, we're to at least salvage its data. We open on the bridge of the USS Inquiry, a Hubble-class science vessel in the 23rd century. Bright red, gold, green, blue, purple lights blink on and off at various bridge stations, and beeps and whirs intermittently sound off in the background. We have a couple bridge officers, all posted at their stations, including our first officer, Lieutenant Commander Ozil. Would you like to describe yourself at the communication station?
Oh, how appropriate. Can you hear me? Commander, I am Common Ozil. I'm a Trill. I followed, the lead of many Black performers before me who were comms officers. I just so happen to be joined with a very dope, combined with very dope symbiote, they've given me a lot of knowledge. My past lives have been very fresh and cool and swaggy people. And it's dope.
And just to Ozil's left at the science station is our science officer. Would you like to introduce themselves?
So, yes, at the science station, you see a rather petite and energetic looking young Trill who is also joined, but freshly so, and is still sort of navigating the process of being joined. They have shortly cropped curly hair and kind of keep it sort of pinned back a little bit with like a headband, and very bright brown eyes and an easy smile. They seem to they appear young, but anyone who's spoken with them a few times understands that they are starting to come into wisdom beyond their age.
So there are other bridge officers around, and an Andorian woman with short hair at the navigation station says, "Arriving at Taria sector, Captain." The captain looks around and says, "Thank you, Lieutenant Javala. Lieutenant Montplaisir, full stop." And looks around, and he says, "Well, is there anything out there? Anyone know where the USS Eureka on sensors?" Lieutenant Commander Nix,
Yes, Captain.
anything on your sensors with the USS Eureka?
I will do a scan now, sir.
Go ahead and roll your reason plus science. And it is assisted by the ship's sensors plus science. If anyone would anyone like to roll for the ship, or do you want me to do that just for expediency this time around? All right. I'll roll for the ship for all of these. I'm on your team, guys. It's a scan, so it's difficulty 0.
Great. We're going to go ahead and do the thing. That is 2 successes.
Plus the ship gives you 1 more.
So we have 3 momentum.
You have found the USS Eureka. It is adrift. Feel free to use the momentum to find out any more information.
Sure. I'd like to ask, so I've scanned the ship. We've obviously located it. From here, am I able to determine like its current state or current status? Does it appear to have been disabled in some way, or like what kind of damage has it taken? Are we close enough for me to see that sort of stuff yet?
Yes. At least to have it on sensors. So first question is its status and damage. It is adrift. There are several small breaches across the outer hull and one large one in the sensor hull. So these are its sister ships, and both the USS Inquiry and the USS Eureka are Hubble class. They look kind of like the classic Constitution Enterprise in terms of like its plating and nacelle shape, but the nacelles are below the ship in the saucer, and instead of a secondary hull below it, there is a big, chunky secondary hull like attached to the back of the upper saucer with a big sensor dish on it. So these are meant to be science and survey vessels. So in this case, there are several small, sizable holes, maybe the size of a small meteor, along the sides of the saucer section, and then one large hole in that secondary sensor structure.
All right. I have Studious, so I'd like to go ahead and use my second question.
Sure.
Since I can for free. Does this appear to have been the result of weapons fire, or does it look as though they might have run into something like a meteor storm, which you mentioned previously?
None of these are registering any sort of energy weapon signature that you've recognized.
Okay.
So if it is weapons, it's not like disruptors or phasers or any sort of that kind of thing, not a torpedo.
Okay. Lieutenant Commander Nix kind of relays that to the captain. From what I can tell, it doesn't appear that these are the result of any sort of weapons fire. And if it is, it's certainly not any weapon that registers on our sensors. It appears that perhaps they might have gotten caught in a meteor storm or something of that like, but there are multiple breaches and the ship is adrift. It doesn't appear to be capable of flight.
The captain turns to Ozil and says, "What do you think, number one?"
Let's send some people over and check it out. What's the danger in seeing, Captain?
He nods and goes, "It's a good idea. If we're going to get that data and transfer it back to the Inquiry, I believe that you two are the best for the job, between getting the computers to give up that data and then transmitting it back. So Nix, Ozil, go ahead and lead an away team. I think you might be smart to start with Security Chief Kane in assembling your team. We don't know exactly what dangers are aboard yet, and bring along also whoever operations can spare. it seems like you'll have a lot of salvage and repair on your hands.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Copy that.
As you all leave, he, as the scene kind of fades away, you hear him say, "Lieutenant Montplaisir, set course for the USS Inquiry." You two enter the turbo lift and can talk at will as you also let me know where you're headed.
Security.
Yes. Hello.
Or are you saying the turbo lift? Or are you?
Yeah, I go ahead and I grab the handle and twist it and, indicate that we'd like to be taken to wherever our chief security likes to hang out.
Blink security office, and then the lights start flashing, and it'll be a few minutes so you two can talk.
Well, this seems quite exciting.
You get used to it after a while. It's one empty ship after another, or a dusty rock planet, or if you're lucky, there's something that's going to try to eat you. It's real rinse, wash, repeat.
You think the ship is empty?
Oh, I mean, that's the best case scenario, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be empty. If I was a gambling man, which I am, I would assume that it won't be.
I see. I guess I thought that perhaps we might find crew aboard. I didn't think about the fact that they might all be gone. That's a little grim.
Look here, life philosophy of me, and my buddy attached to my spine. If there's giant holes in the ship, it usually means something not great happened.
Well, that's pretty obvious to see, but they're Starfleet. They probably could have figured out some way to survive in all of that, surely. Oh gosh.
How many times have you gone out into space?
Well, I mean, I've been, on plenty of ships, but it's been feeling a little bit different lately, I guess, since, my joining. Everything kind of feels different. And I don't think Nyx has ever really been out in space. So this is new for them. I think their excitement is kind of transferring over to me. It's almost as if I've never done it before.
That's great. You get jaded. I forgot how that feeling is. You know what? I'm going to take your viewpoint on this, Nyx. Maybe that'll be it. Let's go in assuming the best.
Sounds like a plan to me.
And then the turbo lift doors slide open. Whoosh! It's a hallway on one of the medium decks. So on this era of the 23rd century ship, security did not have a dedicated station on the bridge. Usually information would just be relayed to the communications officer if there was a security issue that the captain needed to deal with. But in this case, you head into down the brightly lit off-white halls into the security office where Lieutenant Commander Quill Kane is sitting. On a science and survey ship, you don't often have a lot of chance to get into the action, as it were, but security chief is a security chief, and every ship still needs one. Would you like to introduce yourself and describe yourself?
Yes. Hello. Good evening. Well, my name is Quill Kane. I am 6'2", 250 pounds of raw muscle, pure meat and energy. I have a constant furrowed brow. Some people may misinterpret it as me not having a good time, or, I seem a little bit, I guess, off-putting to people. But that's just because you just never know what's around the corner, so you always have to be prepared. That's why I'm here. I heard you guys need security. Where are we off to?
If you look out yonder window, there's a ship floating, and we need to go secure some data for the captain. And you, buddy,
Yes.
along with any additional crew we have, we got to go over there and hope something's not on it. Right, Nick? I'll look at next.
I mean,
Yeah.
aside from hopefully living crew, anyway, sir.
Yes? What? Speak up.
Well, we're going to need, our very best chief of security to keep us safe. So we have been ordered to bring you along.
As you should. That's right. If you care for living, if you don't want to die,
I like
I'm your
living.
man.
Living's
Let's go.
good. All right. Then next, I guess we are going to go and collect our ops.
Quill, get some guns and let's go.
Phasers are ready.
Do I need a phaser too? Do we all have phasers? Is that how? Sorry.
You definitely can, and they're standard away team stuff, so you don't need to buy anything extra unless you want to tell me now. And the security office is attached to the ship's very minimal armory.
Yeah, I think everybody just comes equipped with the phaser on their character sheet. So Sorrel picks the phaser up and kind of like hefts it in their palm, and they're kind of like uneasy about it, but they just holster it as they should, and fall in step with their exo and their security officer.
I want to lean in to Quill Kane and say, did you get the special ones we talked about when we stopped on that other planet?
The special ones. Well, of course,
Yes.
my man. Yes. Well, where do you want these? Where do you want these special ones? You're the captain.
Keep it down. Keep it down. Just you take one of the Platons, and I take one of the Phantom, and in case something pops off, we can pop off as well.
Well, let's get it popping. Good.
All right. On to engineering next to see who's available. So you all head to the engineering, you three, and by the time you arrive there, it's a lot of people running around. A bunch of folks in Operations Red, as well as the red jumpsuits, and your chief engineer Kensington is there. He's a human with red hair and a mustache. Red hair parted very cleanly with the classic Starfleet standard pointy sideburns. And he has a clipboard in hand with a pen, and he's like talking to a bunch of people kind of running back and forth. And he says, oh, the bridge crew is here. To what do I owe the pleasure? And he's like kind of only half paying attention to you.
Sorrel kind of looks to their exo.
Yo, hey, buddy, pal. We need more crew because we have to go over to the ship, and we need to go now. I'm already late.
What? To the ship? Engineers need to be in engineering. That's where they're working.
Yeah, and you can stay, but we need two of the ones that aren't.
Everyone here is, last time we stopped at Starbase, someone forgot to requisition enough engineers for us to have full shifts. I am stretching 2 shifts of people across 3 shifts.
Give me a break. You do this every time. And there's one less medic than we should have. We have to adapt. We live and we grow.
Starfleet decides that it's a science ship, so we should have plenty of science staff and yet minimal engineers. Sorry, sir. It's just been a busy day. I'm afraid everyone in engineering right now is taken up, but some of the Alpha shift operation staff is on lunch break right now. Perhaps if you head down to the mess hall, as soon as they're done, I am happy to assign them to your away team.
You calm them and lead them. Tell them we're on our way.
All right, sir. They'll meet you in the transporter room right after the lunch break is done.
And sir, do something about that attitude and adjust it immediately.
Countrymen sometimes don't have respect for their own. Northerners, probably. He mutters under his breath. Then we slowly fade out and fade into the mess hall. The the mess hall is a crew mess hall. There's a lot of crew members who are on their lunch break right now. It's the early lunch break. It's the one that's like kind of at 1100 hours instead. And it includes 2 members of our operations crew. A couple folks who don't actually have like a major tier ranking, but it's an ensign and a crew person. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Okay. Well, you see Denobulan Ensign in Operations Red sitting at a lunch table. She is pretty standard looking Denobulan, kind of brown hair that's kind of like not slicked back, but kind of like shoots straight back, tucked under her ears. She has a large forehead, and there are just these very thin ridges with brown streaks going down them. And if you're familiar with Denobulans, you know that those ridges and spines go all the way down, just like with Trills. And she's sitting there and having her lunch.
And sitting next to the ensign is myself, cruise person Jaylin Chang. She's human. She's in her early 20s. She is 4'10". She is very small and stout, with a very round and like sweet face with big cheeks that you just can't say no to, and super long hair that goes down past her waist. And she is animatedly talking to Ensign Morale as the people come in. So that's when I saw it. There was the biggest critter just running around inside there. And I jumped on top of it, and I caught it with my bare hands, and I took it to the science lab, and I asked them, can I keep it? Can I keep it, or do you guys need to dissect it again? And they said I could keep it. So now I have something that looks kind of like a mix between a cockroach, a termite, and maybe some sort of meerkat, all just mixed together. I don't know where it came from, but it's in my room right now.
Oh, it's so darling.
I know. I'm gonna name it Pierre, I think.
Very fancy name.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It does have a lot of talking. It like keeps whispering things, like it parrots things that it hears around. So I am trying to understand what it has to say to me. It's very exciting.
You know, my 5th husband had a meerkat, sort of meerkat as a pet. I hated that thing. It smelled so bad. But one day it nearly saved my life. Here's the story. So I was in this shuttle, and she just kind of continues telling the story.
So in the background, you see folks, getting trays of food. There are the 2 specials of the day. So a ship of this era does not have a full replicator. So they have food synthesizers you can put like discs into or tapes into to request specific synthesized things. But the 2 cooks options are Tellarite vegetable compote or navy bean soup. And just then, this continues happening until you hear a whistle of the intercom. Engineering to Miral and Chang. Please report to transporter room 1 as soon as your lunch break is over.
Are we going somewhere?
We're going to go somewhere. Oh, they never asked me.
I never get to go. You know, I used to fly all the time. I'm a hell of a pilot, but I never get to fly anything. Maybe I'll get to pilot a shuttlecraft. I don't know. That might be asking a lot. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to support you the whole way. Maybe they just want me to carry something onto the shuttle, but I'm right there behind you.
Oh, I could carry stuff too. We could both carry a lot of things.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So we cut to the transporter room. It's a few minutes later, and everyone is gathered there. You hear another intercom whistle, and it says, Captain of Transporter Room 1. And Ensign Gunawan, who's a transporter op, presses a button and says, Transporter Room 1 here, sir. Is the away team all there? And the ensign looks at you 5 and is like,
we're good to go. Right, Exo?
Is that everybody?
Oh, we're all going?
Yeah, I think this is it. I think we're good to go, Captain.
and so the ensign said, yes, sir, they're all here. The captain says, so as a reminder, the primary task of this mission is to salvage that data and transmit it back. But while you're there, because that data transfer will take a little bit, find out what happened to that ship and help anyone out that needs to be helped. These are Starfleet crew, and this is our sister ship. Whatever happened to them, we want to be sure we're watching out for also. Good luck,
Copy
team.
that. Thank you.
No. Bloop.
It's always ominous when Captain says good luck and I step on the thing.
I'm sure everything is going to be completely fine.
Hi. You're Nix, right?
Lieutenant Commander Nix, yes.
That's what they call you down. Hi, I'm a cruise person. I'm Jalen Chang. It's so nice to meet you. You are legendary, and
I really appreciate it. I don't know what to say, but it's very nice to meet you too, crew person Chang.
Lieutenant Commanders, it's an honor to be on this away mission with you all. And you, Security Chief. And you, crew person.
You're welcome.
This
You're
is
very welcome.
Very lovely. Is everyone ready?
Yes, and might I offer, if anyone needs a pilot, I am a very well-versed pilot. Yes, I was on a high-risk piloting crew in the academy, and I haven't gotten to pilot many things lately. But if you need a pilot for this mission, I am available.
For what? One more time?
For piloting.
Okay,
I'm
that's
very
enough.
good in high-risk situations as well.
All
So
right.
if you need a pilot for a high-risk situation, I am available
Copy
for
that.
this to pilot.
All right. Sounds good. Again, is everybody ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
So the five of you step onto the transporter pad as the ensign slides those sliders up. You beam aboard to the USS Eureka. I'm going to spend a couple things here. Don't mind me.
Oh, no.
Well, then I got to ask for some rolls.
Oh dear.
This is just to set what the setting is. But you beam onto just outside the bridge. It's instead of like the transporter, instead of the turbo lift, it's like one of the office nooks. The air is stale and cold. And so while there is life support, it seems like, because you haven't been sucked into the vacuum of space and you can breathe, it seems like it's been kept just barely at pressure and temperature. So it's like chilly. It's probably 10 degrees centigrade at best, which is like, in the 50s, 60s, probably metric. And instead of the flashing colorful lights, everything is dark. The only thing that you're lighting by right now is like a very minimal emergency lights and then your own equipment.
Is life support going?
Based on just what's happening right now, it's not working. But you can scan if you'd like to learn more. Or you
Yes.
can enter the bridge.
I would like to determine that it is actually safe to leave this specific space.
Go ahead and make a roll for reason plus science.
Cool.
what's the difficulty on this?
Yes, please.
Oh, it's a scan, so it's 0.
And are the ship's computers working here?
You don't know yet. But you could scan or do something to tell me what you're trying to find out. After their roll.
Yeah, that's 2 successes.
Great. By the way, 1 momentum has dropped from the last time, but you do
Right.
get 2.
So we have 3 momentum right now. Cool.
So the main thing you're scanning for is the life support. Life support seems to be operating at a very minimal level. It is on, but it's just barely. And that's kind of like the only thing that's really active right now.
I'm reading minimal life support. It is functioning, but we will probably have to figure out a way to get it back to working order if we plan to stay here long.
Can we scan for any life forms aboard?
You can still use the scan that that we just did, or you can make a new one. But you still have enough momentum if you want to ask for more information from that scan.
Well then, can I just get more information from that scan as if there's anything alive in our
Sure.
immediate vicinity, if not the whole ship?
All right, spend 1 momentum for that, and the tricorder also recorded no life signs aboard except for you.
That's unfortunate. I'm not getting any life signs.
Okay, I'll take it. Neither negative nor positive.
I wonder if that means that the crew is here and dead, or if they are somewhere else and alive, potentially.
We should probably check to see if the escape pods have been activated. They might have abandoned ship.
Do we scan for energy scans at all, or is it only life forms? Does it also scan for any like spikes in power, or is it just completely dead on board the ship?
I can ask that with my Studious, I think, just pulling off of that first question that we asked instead of spending another momentum.
Sure.
Any strange energy or power surges happening?
The opposite. It seems like the power is out entirely, and the only reason life support is even on is because it's probably wired to a separate thing just to keep it working.
Okay. Not reading any weird energy spikes or anything like that. If anything, this ship is kind of a dead shell.
Well, then how are we going to get this information off? Is there any way to jumpstart at least enough energy to pull what we need?
I think so. I have a specialty in ship layout. Would I be able to know, Quincy, where to go to get that data? Is it the bridge or is it somewhere else?
So yeah, you can just know that because you're Starfleet officers that would know that, and especially you would be familiar with how the ship's laid out because of all your time maintaining and cleaning the hallways and the Jeffries tubes and the various unused offices and quarters. In this ship, again, it's a sister ship to the USS Inquiry, so they're designed the same way. You're right outside the bridge, so the bridge would be the first place you'd want to check just to see if you can find out any information that your tricorder's not accessing, right? And that would probably be the main place you want to access the data and start transferring it. And engineering would be where you would want to go if you want to see if there's any power systems that you could draw upon or any fixes you can do to try to, figure that out.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a Starfleet officer. I don't know if it's beyond me to suggest this, but myself and Moral could head over to engineering to see if we can reroute any sort of power to get things going so we can start checking out the data cores. If the rest of you want to go into the bridge and start finding information, we can definitely start trying to get power running again.
Would it be more logical for you to pull the data? Commander Nix, can you do that?
I believe that I can. I'm a little bit concerned about, well, if we split up, which way should we send our security officer? He's here to protect us. And if we turn into two parties, that I don't believe that Commander Kane can split into as well.
If you want to live, then come with me.
Dramatic. How about this? Kane, you take the two and go to engineering and start the power up, and we will wait here, and we will start harvesting the data the minute the energy comes back.
I can at least take a look at this wall console, or to try and find a console along this corridor. Maybe start there, and then if it doesn't look like there's anything that can be gleaned from here, then we can move on to the bridge. But yeah.
Sounds good. I will follow after you and look for things to jump out at us.
Well,
Everybody got your task? Everybody ready?
Yeah. I just want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for caring about our lives and our safety and health. Just,
Okay.
I really
Okay.
appreciate the
Thank
care
you.
you're
Thank
giving to
you. Thank you. Let's get the task done.
We will find out everything we can about that warp core and the engine room, and we will report back.
I chat Nick's and we just walk away.
All right, let's go.
So to be clear, once again, our 3 operations division, our security chief, and our 2 operations technicians are headed to engineering. But where are our 2 bridge officers? Are you going straight to the bridge, or did you want to go somewhere else first?
Are there I'm trying to remember exactly how ship layouts work in TOS. Are there like wall panels or anything that I could potentially the moment like some sort of power is being drawn from the warp core that I could potentially get started on, or like maybe do a little bit of additional investigation, like opening up rooms, seeing if there's anyone inside, maybe determining never mind. Sorry, I'm rambling here when what I think I actually need to do is determine whether or not the escape pods have been activated to determine whether or not the ship has been abandoned or if we are dealing with like a tomb.
So the best place to do that would be the bridge. While the corridors and hallways of a starship at this era would have like a lot of piping, a lot of wiring, and then intercom consoles, but not like a full wall display.
Okay.
You have to go to a specific office or station that would have that.
All right, cool. Where are we currently on the ship? Are there any offices immediately nearby that we could look in?
You're right outside the bridge. It's just like one of the site like conference nooks next to the bridge.
Okay, cool. If we're already by the bridge, then we'll just head in that direction then.
Great. You kind of force the door open, and the bridge is still in darkness, so that we have to follow the operations crew.
Yes.
So the operations crew, you are making your way down the hallways. You're kind of having to force some doors open, but they're not damaged heavily or anything. Like they're just the power's just off, so you can just push them open with your hands. Let me know if you want to investigate anything on your way there. Otherwise, we can just jump you straight to engineering.
Yeah, I definitely would like to do just a general observation of any details on the floor, on the walls. Is there anything out of place that I might notice?
You can go ahead and roll an insight plus engineering.
Okay. I got 1 success. Oh, didn't ask what the difficulty was.
It would have been 1. So
okay, great.
Yeah, you so you're kind of looking at just the general layout. At least on the ways you're going, there so far it doesn't seem like anything major is out of place. But as you kind of pay closer attention, you do notice there's a lot of like scratches and kind of like scratches and black marks on the wall and on the floor. So it's odd because a ship of this caliber would just have, as you two would know, maintenance crew to just take care of those things. And even then, these are just hallways. These are not like main workways. So there should be no reason why these should have like so much dirt and scratches.
Okay. Can I do a tricorder scan on them?
Sure. And the chief is also with them. So in case you want to do anything.
Okay.
Tricorder scan will be reason plus science, 0 difficulty.
Science, 0. I got no successes. Really?
So,
yeah. Wow. Okay.
It's you don't get to be out in the field often, and even when you do, you're used to the tricorder, like practicing in your room. You'd flip the monitor up, turn it on, turn it back off, flip it down, like, oh, you're ready. And in this case, when you look at it, it kind of reads the same as when you're on your own ship, except there's no like ambient power. So maybe it's because you're too used to, just scanning in your room. You're not quite sure how to like read it into a new situation.
Morale, you're trying to scan? Look at how messy it is here. Whoever's is not doing a good job.
I know. Look at these scratches and these marks. It's very strange, but my tricorder isn't I don't know. It's not picking this up, and I think my tricorder might be malfunctioning.
Are we wearing suits, Quincy?
Are you muted?
You're not wearing spacesuits. You're just wearing normal uniforms.
So we have our bear skin, right?
Yes.
I want to feel around inside the scratches and see if I feel anything in there, or like,
Sure.
like marks or anything.
I guess that would also be also an insight engineering.
Insight engineering. Okay. Insight engineering. Okay. Oh, I got a 2.
Difficulty 1.
I got 2 2s, and I think that's gonna be.
Are you using a focus for this?
Precision cleaning. That's one of my focuses.
You know what? I'll allow it. So
Yeah.
off of a difficulty 1, you got 4 successes. So bank that momentum, or you can use that momentum to also ask questions based on your cleaning, figuring out.
Yeah.
But so far, based on just like running your fingers through the scratches, you find that they're very thin scratches at its tip, but it's like wider at the corner. So definitely something sharp and metallic scratched it. And there's little bits of like, you can see there's like a discoloration inside. So definitely something actively scratchy. It's like a metallic thing scratched the metallic walls.
Is there any way I can determine what kind of metal?
That would probably be, you'll probably need to use a tricorder to analyze that stuff. But right now, all you can kind of tell is just like, there's definitely like multiple substances on there. And it doesn't look like it belongs, right? It doesn't look like it's from what was already on the ship.
So something scratched it, but there's no other like powder or dirt or any other resin.
Oh, not in the scratches, but there is powder and stuff that seems to be part of the dirt.
The dirt?
There's like spots as well as scratches. So the spots, like the dirty spots, have kind of a powder finish, whereas the scratches are like metallic, like a metallic scratch.
I mean, can I investigate that too? Or is it like a tricorder scan?
A tricorder scan would help you actually find out what the substance is. Right now, you're just noticing that, like, you definitely know for sure based on your experience that these are not normal things that should be part of the ship corridors.
Mm-hmm. Can I scan for that?
Sure. Reason plus science, difficulty 0. And feel free to use that momentum to boost that if you'd like.
Reason plus
Y'all got plenty for now.
12. Reason and science. I also, testing a theory, when I attempt a task using engineering science, I can roll an additional d20, as long as I succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific field in the same adventure. Does that count?
Read the whole thing again. Does it have to be a scientific task before, or just any task?
When you attempt a task using engineering or science, you may roll 1 additional d20, so long as you succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific or technological field early in the same adventure.
You know what? I'll allow it if you can come up with the actual theory you'd want to test right now.
I want to see if this powder is related to weapons in some way, or if it's just like usual dirt that I would know because I'm usually maintaining a ship and cleaning it. So if it's out of the ordinary, I would recognize it as something that's not a typical like dirty substance.
Absolutely. You totally can roll the extra die on that one.
All right. Okay, I got, let me see. I think
What was the difficulty?
It's 0 because it's a tricorder scan.
I got 3 successes. Ooh. Oh, wait.
Wow.
So we have 6 momentum plus 2 floating.
No, I got 4 because I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no. Sorry, no, just 3 successes. That's it.
Okay. So you have a lot of momentum right now, but you can now use that. So it does flag as something. I'll give you for free from the scan. Is that it flags as something that's not usually on a ship. You can use the rest of your momentum to find out more specific things.
Yeah,
Can
we
I
have to
chime in
use
here?
the 2 floating ones right away.
I'd like to chime in here. I think our science officer, Commander Ozil, will be able to maybe figure out what type of species invaded this ship.
You think it was invaded?
Wow.
That's what I'm suspecting. But
How How would you determine the species from this powder?
Well, if you look at the nail marks or some sort of scratches inside on the wall, I'd like to maybe first determine what type of species has this certain type of nail, of course, and why it was on the ship.
So
But
you're
it's just a
assuming it was
theory.
like hand scratches and not like a weapon scratch?
That's the feeling that I get.
Oh, you're the weapons expert, so I defer to you on this.
Oh,
sir.
it's definitely not a weapon. No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No.
Maybe the tricorder can tell us what species might have this type of claw
Well, you
or
have
something.
two floating momentum that if you don't use now will disappear the moment you stop scanning, by the way,
Yeah,
or the moment you leave the place.
Can we use one to ask that question? Like, is this from a certain species, the claw mark?
Is that your question? You all good with that?
I'll defer to Jade, I guess, because her role.
For the scratch marks, are they one scratch or is it like a pattern of scratches together? Are they like multiple scratches in the same direction?
They're like, they almost seem like they're random scratches. There's multiple scratches, but they're not in a row.
Or maybe we could ask, what are the scratches from? Like, what created these scratches?
Yes. Can I ask that?
Yes. One of your momentum points. These scratches are from a mixture of tritanium, a future metal, and steel, a normal metal. And the atomic patterns of them show that they were definitely like the steel structures were like patterned and formed in the same way. So it's probably something that was constructed.
You know what? I changed my theory.
Yes. Please tell us. Lieutenant Commander Quilcane.
Yes, well, that was definitely a scuffle. If you see, there was definitely some sort of confrontation about here.
We should also ask the tricorder what that powder is. Like, what kind of substance that is.
Yes.
Ensign Morale, that's a great idea. Thank you so much to Lieutenant Commander Quilcane for coming up with this idea in the first place. That's wonderful.
You're welcome.
Can we ask what kind of powder, Mr. Tricorder? What kind of powder was this?
The tricorder reports that the powder is a combination of sulfur, carbon, and potassium nitrate. More commonly known to some of you all as explosive gunpowder.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fascinating. So, it sounds like Lieutenant Commander Quilcane has an idea that a scuffle has occurred. I say we go with that hypothesis until proven otherwise. What we see are some sort of perhaps constructed weapons and examples of something being exploded, as far as I can tell. Although it looks as though there isn't damage to the corridors itself. Right, Quincy?
The damage seems really minimal. Again, there's scratches, there's those spots, but this is a Starfleet ship. Like, normally it's designed to be able to withstand phaser fire, disruptor fire. Not amazingly, like, this is not a warship, but if these are metal and gunpowder pieces, it's probably not enough to do any significant damage to the inside of a ship.
So who is using these antiquated firearms? And if so, are we able to maybe perhaps see if there are traces of phasers? Because maybe someone with phasers was fighting someone with those antiquated firearms. That's just a suggestion.
That is a good suggestion. I wonder, can we tell if there was phaser, like recoil, on these walls, or does that fade?
Phaser forensics?
You can use one of your points to ask that too, if you'd like.
Yes, I will use one of my momentum to ask that, if we can see if there's any phaser fire as well involved.
So based on what you found from your tricorder, there are faint traces of phaser radiation that are in the place, but it's only Starfleet frequencies. And it seems like it was only like a little bit. So it wasn't an extended firefight.
Yes. It looks like they were not good at the fighting. I suggest we continue on our way to engineering to see if we can get the power rerouted again. Oh, we can't hear you, Ensign Merle.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to ask one more question with this roll. I wanted to know just how far up or down the wall these marks are. Are they low to the ground, middle, high up, all over?
They are mostly so there are a few marks that are like low but small, like small scratches, and then there are a couple marks that are like maybe a meter off the ground, a meter to a meter and a half off the ground, and those are longer scratches.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Fascinating. I wonder if it was some sort of spear or long-range weapon that someone was wielding and swiping upwards with that sort of signature. But this is not for me to know. I'm not a weapons expert. I'm just a cruise person.
Same here. I don't know. I'm an engineer and a mechanic, not a weapons expert.
Same here. I'm just a security officer, not a weapons expert. Wait.
Aren't you a weapons expert?
Oh, yes, I think I am.
Oh.
You're right. Well,
on our way to engineering. Here we go.
Let's go.
let's go.
Right, you arrive at engineering. It is also dark, but the console seemed mostly undamaged. Kind of the same, a little bit of the same scratches and stuff, but the long tube behind you normally it's glowing. That's like where you can see the engines start, but it's entirely dark, and you're still lit by your equipment.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can get the power back on, shall we, crew person?
That's right, Ensign. Let's do that.
Don't worry about me. I'll be watching you and making sure that you're well protected and secure.
Oh, I feel very safe.
Very,
Security
very secure. Thank you.
I mean, that's a little.
Can we do like a what? Sorry.
Oh, that hint of sarcasm was just it was cutting.
No, no.
I wasn't being. I'm never sarcastic. I'm always just completely how I feel. That's what I say.
Same.
Good.
Oh,
Good way.
Are your feelings hurt, Lieutenant Commander Colcane?
Never. I have no feelings.
Oh, okay.
On with the investigation. Come on, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, maybe we should do some type of coordinated task roll. I like to call them rolls. Let's just roll along and doing our job.
Yeah.
So you're trying to restore some power?
Yeah. Maybe
Okay, so at this point, the easiest thing that you could do, because the engines are currently cold, is you could just activate emergency power. So clearly, there is some sort of power that the life support is drawing from. You can make a control plus engineering roll at a difficulty 2 in order to at least kick back whatever emergency power stores there are.
Okay.
And can I assist?
Yes, the assist is if you can roll one more die on top of that based on the same. Assuming you're doing the same thing as control plus engineering, but if you tell me if you have a different way you're trying to help.
I have 11 as a total. If you want me to go ahead and find power.
I think it's best if
We're
I
the
do it.
yeah we're the engineers. No offense, this is our job.
Again with the sarcasm.
No.
Well.
Oh, that wasn't sarcastic.
It's just a fact that we're just better at the engineering stuff.
Yeah.
Really? Yes. Well, I'm not understanding this sarcasm thing, but you're protected. Bye.
Oh, he just walked away.
He just walked away. Okay.
I'm still here, just in the distance, looking after you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander.
Continue on.
He's kind of strange.
Do you think he wants to be in engineering?
Maybe he does.
I think so. I'm getting that sense.
Yeah.
I can still hear you.
Oh,
What?
Very hollow. Your voice carries.
his
All the way
hearing
over
is
here.
so good. It's so
And yes,
good.
I do like engineering.
Oh.
Is he part Vulcan because he can hear really well and he has no feelings?
No, just a human.
Oh.
I can still hear you.
Oh.
We should just do our yep, let's just get the power restarted.
So control plus engineering difficulty 2.
Okay, and I have a focus in power systems. So hopefully
Yeah,
I will roll
absolutely.
nicely. Oh my god, I am rolling real crappy today. I got 1 success.
Oh, I got 1 success too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Great. That's enough to kick on the power. So it's not full bright, but the dim gold and red lights kind of turn on to signify that there is some power coming back. The engine behind you is still cold, but the lights are coming back on again. And you see a few things that should be moving in the ship, like certain moving mechanisms and engineering, start to move and turn. Meanwhile, on the bridge, you enter the bridge. You've been waiting a few minutes. Let me know if you were doing or saying anything during those few minutes while you were waiting.
Well, I guess your practicality and pragmatism kind of won out on that one. But I guess the best thing is that so far it doesn't seem like there's anybody here.
That is true. So, we're somewhere in the middle if you really think about it.
I just hope the crew got out safely. That's kind of the most important thing at this point, besides the data, anyway. I would hate to find out that the entirety of the crew is lost. That would be horrific.
Let me tell you something now. Always assume the worst. Unfortunate, but true.
But if you'll excuse me, Exo,
Please feel free.
aren't we, as Starfleet, in any case, supposed to be a beacon of hope and security for the galaxy? If we don't have hope, and if we're not optimistic, then doesn't that sort of cast a pall on everything it is that we're trying to achieve?
You can have hope and optimism and not be foolish. I've seen many, many things in just Kemen's life, let alone Ozil's. It doesn't behoove you for a long existence if you aren't constantly aware of the fact that it's a wild and dangerous place in these stars.
Well, dangerous, certainly. I don't ever forget that for a moment. But wondrous, too. And incredible, expansive. There's so much to find. I guess maybe I'm a bit naive, but I don't know. When you're a scientist, there's always the endless possibility.
I admire that. I wish I could share that.
Well, in all fairness to you, Commander, you are the EXO. You do have to be a bit more pragmatic, I guess, than I necessarily have to be. I have the luxury of being excitable, and you don't.
Yes, I'm going to live through you, Trill. I'm going to try to see the world through your rosy eyes, but at the same time, I'm going to try to make sure we get back to our ship alive.
Sounds good, sir. Hope they get the power back on. I hope they didn't run into any trouble down there.
And right when that you say that, the lights start to dimly come on the bridge, and you hear a slow whirring of as the enough minimal power gets restored to the computer so that some of the bridge stations start flashing their lights again. It's not fully restored. It's not like you can't just fully drive the ship again, but it's enough for the systems to actually respond to your controls.
Eureka!
One of the two has happened. Let's start working on getting this data.
Aye, sir. Sorrel moves over to one of the consoles, probably the science station, and starts trying to call up some information. The first thing I think they're trying to determine is, they're going to try and get a lot of info.
Great.
So.
That threat spend I spent earlier was because the ship has been damaged enough that anything you do that requires the ship's systems actively is increased in difficulty.
Of course, that tracks.
That being said, you can definitely check to see. So what were you checking first?
I want to check to see if the escape pods have been deployed.
Great. Normally this would not cost anything. However, things as it were, you will need to be rolling a Oh gosh, that would be an internal system scan. Let me look at what that would be. I have this somewhere. Give me a second.
Take your time.
Normally that wouldn't. Internal scan. You know what? I'll just make it up. It will just be a reason science, I guess. If you're at the science station, that makes sense. At difficulty 1, it would normally be 0.
All right, let's see how we do here. Oh, I don't think any of my focuses come into this, so that is only 2 successes.
That's enough to do it. So you do have to kind of wait for systems to process and stuff like that. So once again, you were asking.
Yeah. Do we? So sorry. My brain is only processing words at like a very slow rate. Have the escape pods deployed from the ship?
No, all escape pods are accounted for.
That's
Not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Where is everyone?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Can we get in contact with security officer Kane, please?
Yeah, you can have your little flip communicator.
Check out my sidekick. Hello? Commander Quill Kane. Commander Quill Kane, can you hear me?
This is Quain. Quain. This
is Commander Quivo.
This is Kane. Go for Kane.
Kane, have you found anything peculiar aboard the ship? We just got the power back as you guys did. Good job on that. And
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. And we're coming to find out that the escape pods are still attached to the ship. I don't know if you think what I'm thinking, but something fishy is afoot.
That's not a good sign, definitely. Well, we must find the dead bodies. Or
Are they dead? I'm
What
sorry.
if we
I'm just,
What if we check the transporter logs?
yeah.
Maybe they transported somewhere.
You know what? And that's a great idea. Errol, why don't you give it a shot? Go ahead.
Who?
Oh, can I do that from here?
Sure. You can check the transporter logs from there. Again, normally this would cost nothing, but in this case, it would just be a reason engineering.
Reason engineering. Okay.
Good thing we got the power going, right? That's why we're able to check these logs.
Exactly. I'd also like to spend a momentum for an extra die, please, if that's
Sure.
okay with everyone. Okay.
Yes.
How much momentum do we have?
1.
3 left.
We have
Oh.
3. We have
Oh.
3.
Okay.
But it's difficulty 1.
Ooh, that was a much better roll. I got all successes here. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then my engineering is 4. And I got a 4, but let's see if a focus applies. I mean, I have mechanic. That doesn't count. The ones that might apply are mechanic, power systems, and threat assessment. Do any of those count?
I would say not for just checking a transporter log, just
Okay.
managing to pull a transporter log through a weird, a downship system.
But that was
While
3
you do-
successes. I
Great.
forget how many.
So we have 5
successes.
success. We have
Okay.
5 momentum now. Sorry about
Great.
that.
You do have 5 momentum, and you do pull up the logs. The logs are in working order. They're filed and sent and stored in the engineering, but there are no there's like not any bulk transporter logs in or out. Like that's to say, it's like very routine stuff, like cargo transport in. So yeah, the last major thing you got in there was like people beaming up and down from a planet like from weeks earlier, right? And then various like cargo that comes in and out of from those survey missions.
Wow. Nothing here.
I have another question to add on to the scan. Is it possible for the ships to recognize where organic material is on the ship? Even if they're not live body signatures, could we recognize if there is like organic mass here?
Yeah, ship sensors could absolutely recognize a no longer alive but organic compounds.
I'd like to do that and see if there's anything that's in like a large group somewhere.
That's going to be harder from engineering. Engineering's not really designed to do that, but you can probably communicate her up to the bridge to see if your science officer can do that.
Are we still on the comms?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Commander Nix, do you think we could do a scan with your proficient wisdom to see if there's any organic material and potentially maybe asleep bodies, if not like resting somewhere?
You are one step ahead of you. That was what I was going to do next. Great minds. And yeah, I'd
Great.
like to run a masking.
Also a reason science check. In this case, it's 2.
Cool.
Difficult.
And I would also like to spend a momentum to get an extra die for my cautious. So
Can I help with that roll since I wanted to do this too from engineering?
You'd have to describe how you're helping because you couldn't just help them push buttons or anything from there, but
Can I do it from the engineering side and do like a sweep of the ship's systems to see if there's anything that looks different?
I feel like that's not a direct help. That feels like a different task to me. You can also do that later if you'd like. Like you can get a damage report from the engineering, but I feel like that would be different than checking to see if there's remaining non-alive life signs or like non-alive stuff.
I'm just spiritually supporting you.
I appreciate it. I can feel the energy. All right, here we go. Whee!
Difficulty 2.
Difficulty. Ooh. Oh. Oh goodness. Thank God Cautious allows me to reroll die because yikes. Let me just check this really fast because this is actually the first time I've ever used a Cautious.
Was I about to get a chance to come up with my first complication?
You are about to get 2 chances because I think I can use I can do this to roll any die, but I need to double check. Hold on, I'm so sorry. You may re-roll a single d20. Okay, cool. So instead of 2 complications, you'll just get the 1. Cool.
Wow. Oh no.
So I got 1 success. I had 2 complications and I re-rolled one of the die. And I rolled a natural 20 again. So I got 1 success and 2 complications.
Great. Let's do 2 complications then.
Oh boy.
So you're punching in, you're trying to scan for stuff, and you go bleep, bloop, bloop, bloop. The ship does not fully lose power. However, the science station seems to have blown some sort of fuse.
What was that?
Figure out, other ways. So it like sparks up, and then all the lights just turn off.
I don't know. I was pressing all the usual buttons, and then suddenly it just went poof. I don't know if we can restore power to this without some help, or I might need to use a different station. But I'm not going to get what I need from this, and I'm sorry. I couldn't complete the scan. I don't know if there are any dead life forms or.
Damn it, Nix. Did we get the other information we needed before this happened?
We didn't, but we can probably get that from other places on the ship, like the command station down in the chair might have that information available.
So we have to go search through the ship blind. My spidey senses are tingling and I don't like it.
I don't understand that reference, sir, but I apologize.
It's okay.
That's never happened before. That was strange.
As for the other complication, I will bank that for later.
Is everything going on okay on the bridge? And look, I'm seeing some sort of power surge that occurred there.
Yeah, my science station just went up and I didn't get to complete the scan, so I have no answers for you.
Oh.
I don't think we're going to get anything else from the station. If I want to do more work, I'm going to find someplace else to get it. And the data that we were here to retrieve, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get that. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that from this console either, unless it's repaired.
I need you all to rendezvous with us. Are we in the bridge? And then we will go down to the command center together.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should also like do a sweep of even just the decks we're each on, so that since we can't do a scan anymore, we can just get a visual check, see if there's any dead bodies piled up somewhere.
Sleeping bodies.
Let's do that as a group.
Okay.
So let me just say that no, that's fine. Do you want to do the sweep and look? We can just do a light roll for the group. We don't need to describe every individual run, but and otherwise you're meeting at the bridge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Let's do that.
We're meeting up first and then doing a search
I mean,
sweep.
can we just use our eyes as we meet them on our way back and like see stuff? I'm wondering, is a kitchen or galley on our way?
Sure.
I'm just gonna like skip by the kitchen on our way back to the bridge. And since I know the ship pretty well, I think I know a good path that leads there on our way. I want to see if there's any normal food stores, if there's anything different from what's going on. Does the galley look perfectly normal like usual, or is there anything disruptive going on?
So when you go to the galley doors, they are sealed shut. But they're all sealed shut, and you're having trouble opening the galley doors.
Huh. This is strange because all the other doors we were able to open with minimal effort. So I'm gonna, Lieutenant Commander Quill Kane, do you mind if you put some of your very formidable muscle behind this door and help us open it?
No, of course. I didn't want to, come across as being chauvinistic and say, step aside, let a real man do it. But step aside, let a real man do it.
I would never assume that you would say something like that. Something
Never.
boorish. Not at all.
Step aside.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
All right. This is a fitness plus. You can do either security or engineering. Security would be like if you just force it open. Fitness plus engineering is like if you're trying to like leverage it. But either way, you're using your physical power here. The difficulty is 2.
Can I help? Can I help?
You can help if you want to do fitness plus one of those things to physically force the door.
I got 2 successes. Yes.
So you can roll one more die if you're helping Chang.
I did not help.
Try to help me in the good way, Chang.
I tried. You can do it.
So you said you did get 2 successes though, right? The doors seem like, yeah, they're kind of forced shut in a weird way where you can't just slide them open, and then you start to open the door, and a gush of air comes from behind you and starts pushing you through the door. The other side does not have air.
Ooh.
So you get sucked part way through the door before the door kind of like stays in place because that was enough suction to push you out. You're not floating onto space or anything, but air is rushing from the corridor at a high rate into the galley mess hall area where
A little help here. Hello.
We help pull him back in.
Could we pull him back in real
yes,
quick?
this is a fitness security roll too. Difficulty
All
1.
right.
But while your head is stuck through there, you do see that there are like 3 holes, like 3 hull breaches in the galley hull wall. They are like the size of your head, maybe a little bit bigger.
And does it look like there was you said it was breached, like it looked like something or someone, like what? Or do we have to invent? Do I have to roll for that? Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, while they're pulling you, you're just kind of like paying attention. It looks like some like the holes were punched in somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Chang,
like holes a little bit bigger than your head.
Chang, what's your fitness security? Oh, you already rolled for it.
I already rolled. I got 2 successes. It's 10.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
you pull. Were you helping?
I was going to help. Should I just roll it anyway?
If you were helping, then roll. because it's
Okay.
affecting momentum.
Sure, yeah, I will. All right, I got 1 success.
Yay!
So that's 3 successes off of difficulty 1, so you gain 2 momentum, and you pull Kane back in, although the doors are still open and air is still rushing out.
Can we try and reshut the door now that Kane is back in?
Sure. I would say it's stuck open, but you can use 2 momentum to counter the disadvantage that is happening right now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have 1 floating, so can we spend that and then another
Mhm.
regular?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You do that, and then you force the door back closed.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not know that you were going to get sucked out into space. It was not my intention to try and murder you in any way. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no need to apologize. It's not your fault. How's my hair looking?
Beautiful. Amazing.
Really great.
Good.
Good. That's all I really care about. Well, that was a nice breath of fresh air, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good one, sir.
So, what did you see in there?
There were 3 holes about the size of my head, punctured inside.
Huh.
Seems as though some sort of species or something or someone breached the galley.
Quincy, was that in our initial scan that we'd had before? Because I remember that you said that there were breaches on the ship. Did we know that this galley that was one of them?
Yeah, you knew that there were breaches on the ship. You didn't know where they were, and I think you had asked to do a damage check, but you kind of left engineering before you did that, so you never knew exactly where they were.
Okay.
From Nick's Lieutenant Commander Nix's scan from the beginning of the session, they did see there were breaches in the hull.
Okay.
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 It
So-
could be that a disruptor, maybe some weapon from some other ship could have shot this down, but that's just me speculating. We'll definitely need to run some scans in order to figure out what's going on.
Well, I'd like to put on an EV suit and get back in there and see what's going on. If that's all right with you, senior officer.
Well, of course, I had no idea you were trained in space.
Aren't we all trained in space technically?
Were you
You
not
lied.
trained, Lieutenant Commander?
This sarcasm is getting a little out of hand, you know. I'm
I don't
I'm just
understand
saying,
sarcasm. I don't
trained
think I know what
in wearing a
sarcasm is.
suit, trained in wearing a suit and going out in space. I wasn't aware that you were trained as well. That's all I'm saying. Yes, we're out in space and we're training out here. We know that. Yes, of
But-
course. We train out in space. So yes, technically.
I mean, I know I
all of
went to
us-
Starfleet Academy and
Hmm?
you went to Starfleet Academy. Did you
Yeah.
not learn that at Starfleet Academy? Because I learned that
Of course
at
I
Starfleet
learned
Academy.
that of course I did. Come on. Yes. I was
Is
one
this
of I was
sarcasm?
top of my
Is
class.
this what sarcasm is?
No.
Then I don't know what sarcasm is.
Do you know what space training is?
Yes, I just
Yeah.
told you I did.
Well, then fine. Have at it. Let's go. Let's float on.
Anyway, if you do want to find EV suits, those are momentum spends because you did not bring any with you in the first place.
Yeah, how much do we?
2
Spend.
per, I think. It's 2
Oh, that's a
per
lot,
to
okay.
find.
Well, we do have a lot of momentum right now, so if 2 of us go in there with suits, but we should probably meet up with the group before we do that,
Yeah.
so that one person isn't waiting out in the hallway to get eaten by something.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Seems like a good idea. Do you continue onto the bridge?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
I will give you for free information as you make your way to the bridge that on the way there, you see more of those scratches, powders. You're a little bit more careful to open random rooms. But as far as the hallways and corridors are concerned, you don't see any sort of dead bodies or any really thing organic. Everything looks like those same spots and scratches we saw earlier. And then you make your way back into the bridge.
Commander or Captain.
Commander.
Commander works. Yeah.
Commander. Sir, we have found 3 breaches in the galley.
Elaborate, please. I can't hear you. It's.
I'm sorry. It's calm. What I'm saying is that they were the size of my head. The 3 holes were inside the galley. So what I'm suggesting is that we look for EV suits, and Ensign Morale and I shall float out and figure out what reached this ship.
I don't suppose that either of you could maybe take a look at this science console and see if it can be repaired?
As a
I like that.
DM's reminder is that your primary mission is still to get the data to the inquiry, and what happened here is sort of the second concern.
Yeah.
Which
Yes, I imagine we should
definitely aware
repair
of.
this.
So please repair this, and we'll do all the space floating things another time.
All right. Shanks, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
Wait, where are you?
So
ladies
this is
going?
another.
Can I come
We're right
along?
here. We're just repairing the science station. Sure, you can watch and hand us wrenches and things like that.
Sure, and protect you, just in case.
Always.
Of
always
course,
protected.
of course.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a control engineering difficulty 3.
Oh, control engineering. I think whoever has the highest score should lead, and then the other person should assist.
Mm-hmm.
Control engineering. I have 9 plus. I have 13. We both have 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this one, I think
Might be you leading would be better. I'm more of like a mechanic and like engine girl, and I also do have power systems as a focus. But I don't know.
one of my focuses is investigation as well. And so one of my values is everything is worth digging deeper into and everything in its place. So I feel like it's like neat and orderly and tidy. So I hope that this will help me in fixing things.
I mean, I would allow that determination use if that's what you want to use your determination on, in the first half of our game.
If we get the science thing fixed, then we can pull the data, right? Yeah, I think that's important. And then I also have technical expertise as a talent. Whenever you attempt a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, you may re-roll 1d20.
Unfortunately, you are not using the ship to fix the ship.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are my talents? Okay. Well, I think. Do you want to lead it, or should I? It seems like either of us.
I think that considering how much momentum we have, whichever one of you has cautious engineering might be the better bet, because you have that extra die to buy.
Okay. I don't think I have that.
I don't have cautious engineering.
Okay.
I have, yeah.
So I get to roll.
Oh, I do. I do have cautious engineering. Whenever you attempt a task with engineering, you buy one or more. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do that.
Okay, then
so
you can primary and I'll help support.
So I spent 1 momentum out of our 5 to get an extra die.
Oh, I got a 1.
Yeah. Well, that's 2
that's
successes right there.
Well,
and you can reroll. You can reroll 1.
I will reroll that 20. That's for sure. Yes. Oh, that was a perfect reroll because I got a 1 on that. So I got 1, 2, and then I got a 4. And if I'm using, am I using a focus? Can I say mechanic or power systems for this?
I will allow mechanic because this is like a repair of a bridge system. You're not like repairing something that's like wild and unknown to you. This is a thing you're supposed to be fixing anyway.
All right. Then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
5 plus Jade's 1?
Yes. I got a 1.
So we
2.
have,
oh my gosh. 7.
Holy.
We got 7
minus
successes.
3, so that was a 3 difficulty. So you have 4 extra
4.
momentum.
So we have 8 momentum at this moment.
Yeah, red
We
shirt
could-
power.
We could use those 2 extra floating momentum to give ourselves an advantage of some kind.
Yes. Let's do that. Anything in mind?
I would like to say that like this science station is repaired so well, it's not going to blow up on me again. But perhaps if anybody else has any suggestions, I'm game. But I think that perhaps creating some sort of advantage for ourselves with the 2 extra momentum is a good idea.
Mhm.
Is there any way to add more power to the bridge in general so that we can see more data online? Because I think it was only like minimal power that we had before. Are we able to fix anything with the ship now to give it more power and juice?
I would say one of the advantages you can give yourself is that you can restore enough, like whatever repair you did to this station can give enough power to all the bridge stations so that they not only work, but they actually let the ship help you. So the difficulty would still be high, but the ship would get to roll an extra die to help you with it.
That
Mhm.
sounds
That
great.
sounds good.
Because so far you've been rolling with just your own stats and not like the ship systems
Mhm.
actively helping you.
Let's
Cool.
do
All
it.
right, so we've spent the 2 extra die and we have 6 momentum. Cool.
All right.
And the science
Great.
station is back on.
You engineers are miracle workers. Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
This
Great
is
job,
a good
everybody.
time
Great
to
job.
salvage that data and transmit it over to the inquiry.
Yes, correct. Let's do that now, please.
Great. That is one more roll. That roll is also control engineering, but assisted by the ship's communications plus engineering. And this can be done from your communications station.
Okay. Who should do that?
I'll go to that one.
I did a roll for the ship for you, so you can just do your roll. It is difficulty 1. No,
Okay.
2 because of the ship situation.
Is our EXO doing that role?
The XO can do it, or anyone else can do it.
Well, he is our comms officer, so
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna do. Wait, what is the roll again?
Communications plus, sorry, control plus engineering.
Okay. Difficulty of 1.
Did I say 2? It's 1. It should be 1. I already wrote 1.
You said 1.
I wrote 1 in keeping in mind the extra difficulty, and I added 1 to the 1. It should have been 1. It's 1.
I think you said
All right,
one.
I got
Yeah.
1.
I heard one.
Great. The ship
I
was
got
not
1.
able to help, but it did roll. That's enough. The computer data is starting to get transmitted to the ship, to the inquiry. The inquiry's response on that end seemed to be an automated computer response, like just the computer synced up, you know your own prefix code of the ship, and then they're activating, and it says it'll be about a 3-hour completion time for the transfer of data.
I want to call back to the ship and let the
Mhm.
captain know the
Right.
timeline we're working with.
So you pull out your communicator.
Captain,
No response.
oh, you gotta be kidding me. Captain,
Still no response.
Cap.
And on that
I knew
note,
something was gonna happen.
we will go to break.
Uh,
We will return at it's 8:09 Pacific. We will return at 8:19 Pacific. 10 minutes, right, Alila? That's what we usually do?
Yep.
Yes. So we are going to break, and we will see you and find out what happened to the inquiry after the break.
Ooh.
As we last left off before our break, the away team was able to fix the computers on the science station, get the data out, and start transferring it to the inquiry. And that transfer has started. But right before we left off, our first officer tried to contact the inquiry to no response. We are still on the bridge of the USS Eureka.
Oh, what an appropriate name. Of course, I should have known something was going to happen. Can we do any scans for the ship? What is going on here, people? Can you help me out?
we're
Yes,
not getting
yes,
any
sir.
response, sir.
No, we are not.
All right, let me see if I can do any scans of the inquiry to determine what might be happening.
Reason plus science, you'll be assisted by the inquiry's sensors plus science. It is difficulty 1. Normally it would have been 0.
Do you mean the Eureka?
Sorry, the Eureka, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna buy a die. And I'm guessing since are we still considered to be in the same scene, or would you say that since we had a break, that we've shifted out and back in?
I'll say for now you're in the same scene because you're in the bridge.
All right.
The moment we leave the bridge, it'll change scenes.
Sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy a die. That puts us at 5 momentum. And let's see. I don't think I have any. It's so funny. I don't think I have any focuses that are going to help with this. Composure?
No.
Okay. I mean,
That's for
we
you
are
not
in
to
a
be
high
nervous
pressure.
while you.
I mean, this is a high pressure situation. Suddenly our ship is not answering our calls and we don't know why. That is a slightly high pressure situation. All right, here we go. Stay in the tray. There we go. Oh man. Dang, these are terrible rolls, but I can re-roll one of them, but geez Louise.
It was difficulty 1. Did you have any successes?
Oh, they were all successes. They're just all 3 successes.
Oh.
Just, yeah.
Oh,
I just kind of want to
alright.
see if I can get a crit, I guess.
Okay.
overachiever.
Well, the ship also
I'm a
helped.
science
and
officer. What can I do?
The ship helped and it did give you 1 more. So at a
So it's
difficulty
4
of 1,
successes.
you bank 3 momentum.
Yeah. So
So
in
2
total, that's
floating.
4. Yeah.
So feel free to use this to scan for more or get more information because this is a scan. However, what you do see is that there is now a 3rd ship out there.
Jeez.
Along with the Inquiry, and then of course your own Eureka. Well, the ship you're on, your ship is the Inquiry, but
Commander,
How much momentum are you at?
there's another ship out there.
We
with
have
the
8
Inquiry.
total.
We have 8. Yes.
8 total.
Thank you.
Yeah, so 2 floating that we have to use right away.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the make and build of the 3rd ship? Is it anything I recognize as what I want to use for my question?
Sure, that is your question. It is an unfamiliar build, but you do have visual on it since it's so close, and you can bring it up onto your main screen.
I'm gonna do that.
You bring the ship up on the main screen as the main screen kind of like kicks the power on. It was kind of just off before. It is a large half-cylindrical ship with like a semi-cylinder, and it has, so it's like a half tube, right? And it has 3 tall, like metallic poles out with large, they kind of look like sails. So they're pointed out radially from the ship. Along the side of it has a bunch of small, like, cannons sticking out. And at the top of the middle mast, which is its like highest mast, is a black flag. It's space, so it's not floating or anything. However, it is wired so that it is like showing. And on that flag is indeed a skull and crossbones, the Jolly Roger. You still have momentum to spend on information.
So with my studious, I am going to ask, does this pirate ship appear to have atmosphere? Is it like open to the elements? Like, how is it functioning out in space?
So you do like check to see what systems and stuff it has. As far as its internal systems, even though it doesn't seem to be operating on like Starfleet style technology, it like the ship is airtight, like inside. So the cylinder isn't open, like it's just that shape. And also like the masts aren't like in a row, like front to back. They're like sideways. So it seems that the propulsion systems are like probably using like catching radiation and tachyon currents to sail along. The ship's internal, it's airtight. They seem to have like power and like life support and stuff. So it's not robots as far as you can, like, people could be there. It's not like just an open ship of magic.
Cool.
Can I ask another question, or can we ask?
Yeah, we have 1 floating momentum that we need to use, so we can.
Plus, you're studious, right?
That was my second question on.
Oh, my bad. Yes.
Go ahead.
Is it a Bajoran vessel?
None of you know what that is. It is the 23rd century.
That was a good question, though. I was
so
wondering
you
the same
won't
thing.
use up the point, but you wouldn't know to ask that.
Well, I want to ask mine. Kate, did you bring the guns? Because I knew we were going to deal with something. I wasn't expecting space pirates, but I knew something was happening. And a face is not going to get it done. What's outside? Do you see what's outside?
Yes, Commander.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I am going to use the momentum to spend because that's a question from character to character. But
do we
Yeah, I actually just wanted to confirm. So if would the commander asking that question to our chief of security officer burn that momentum?
No, the
Okay.
momentum. If you're using that momentum for information, it needs to be about the outside world.
No,
if you want to
I
make it
wasn't-
so that you had special guns or whatever, that is 2 momentum to create a special advantage.
I want to do that, and that's why I asked it earlier when
Okay,
I said
okay.
the little thing, because I was setting that up. So I want to blow those 2 so that we have our guns.
Describe to me how these are different than normal phasers.
They just got a little bit more oomph to them because the standard phaser is more to knock you out, and I've just living the life that I've lived, the many lives that I've lived, like to have a little extra protection when possible.
Yes, it's a phaser rifle.
You want to have phaser rifles available.
Well, do you
At
want
least 2.
something for the ship to shoot better, or do you want something you can hold as a weapon?
That me
Okay.
can have. Yeah.
So that you can do hand-to-hand combat with other people versus ship combat, right?
No, I want to shoot them better.
But with the ship, or shoot them with the ship better?
It sounds like you're describing a hand phaser, but that's stronger somehow. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, like
That-
a phaser rifle or something.
That being said, we should probably attempt to do some sort of disabling of that vessel, especially if it is, and this is where I want to spend that last floating momentum, is the ship engaged with the inquiry? Is there some sort of firefight happening?
That's a good question. Let me pull up my notes to describe very accurately what is happening. The ship is not only is it like kind of facing the inquiry, it has a large metallic tether attached to maybe what could be described as a sort of giant space harpoon, stabbed straight through the sensor array part of the it's not the array, it's the sensor hull. So it's not into the dish, but it's into the upper thing. And now that you think about it, that's the same place where the large hull breach is that you saw on the Eureka. The tube and inside is hollow, and it appears to be large enough for that people could conceivably go through it.
But are we assuming that it's bad? What if they're trying to help the ships?
That's not how this goes. That's not how this goes, Chang. You said there were head-sized holes in the bay downstairs?
Yes,
Yes.
in the galley. Yes.
All right.
We should attempt to disable the ship.
Dealt with this before. Do we have the energy to do that in the ship that we're in?
Commander, I am a bit concerned that we weren't able to get a hold of the captain.
Will that kill our life support if we try to do that?
Do you see that harpoon through do you see that hole through the sensor suite? That's probably why we can't get a hold of them. It would have knocked out comms too.
Would it make more sense to beam back on our ship so that we're prepared?
We do have a big weapon that we're standing on right now. Maybe we should use that first.
Oh, wait a minute. I have a risky thing to proposition. Can we beam first? I want that one answered. Can we beam onto the ship? Is that possible?
Does someone want to check a systems readout?
I can check.
Sure.
Or you can check. We can check together.
I can assist. How about you do it because sensors, but I can assist with ship
I would
power
say
systems knowledge.
I would say a damage report would be reason plus engineering.
Okay. Is this a damage report on our ship, the one that we're on, or on the pirate ship?
That's what you're asking, right? Because you're asking if you can beam.
Yes.
Yeah, if we have the capacity to actually beam from here. If we're doing reason engineering, I would assist you, I think, instead.
Cool.
And you'd have to do it from the engineering station, which is on the back left of the captain's chair.
All right. I walk over there and I do my damage report. So that's
What's my-
reason and engineering.
What's
So
my
that's
assist roll?
yeah, you can assist. If you're doing this, let's say you can use science, reason science, and you're using reason engineering, and it's just a difficulty 2.
Okay.
because you don't have people actively reporting in, so you need to see what the systems are
God.
saying themselves.
Why didn't I spend a momentum? I thought about it, and then I didn't, and I rolled a 20.
No.
I got 1 success and 1 20.
I also got 1 success. So
Great. I will just bank that threat for now. Use it later.
Just racking up threat for you.
But you are able to get a ship status report. This ship is indeed damaged. There are those hull breaches on deck 3 and 4, one of which was where the galley was. There's the large hull breach in the sensor hull. But you do have, it says that you do not have enough power currently at all to run any sort of like externally facing systems, really. But there, it looks like that you have enough emergency power that you could try to like temporarily get something back on with the ship's reactors. Not the full warp drive, but you might be able to get something happening so that you can actually have systems. The transporter is entirely out in terms of like you need way more power than you could possibly have right now. But you do have you can get certain tactical systems back on, maybe. Like they look damaged but restorable. And you might be able to restore enough power to run some of these systems.
Do we have propulsion?
Propulsion is also down, but possibly repairable at a very minimal level.
That's a lot of repairs to do. Tactical and propulsion.
And
Do we have shields? Do we have shields on this ship?
How much time out of our 3 hours has happened?
So far, like 10, 15 minutes. You started it, and then you made the call immediately, and then you got no response, and then you all got to work.
Okay.
Sir, do you have a plan?
I do. It's brewing. Let's go down to the engine room and fix what we can. Once you report back to me, I'll give you the second part of the plan.
All right.
I'm very excited for this plan, sir. I can't wait for you to reveal it to us.
I'm sure it will be brilliant.
It's going to be worth the wait.
Let's go. All right.
Morale and Chang behind me.
Yes.
Yes, of course. We want to be safe. Lead the way, sir.
Yes, I shall.
Is it just the 3 of us moving to engineering then?
Right. No, I'm coming along. I think we're all going.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I want everyone to make an insight plus security check.
Cool.
Is that 2 rolls or 1? It's 2 rolls, right?
2 die.
2 die.
Nice.
Insight security.
It's a difficulty 1.
Do I use my composure now?
Not for this one.
Okay.
What's my security?
Yeah.
But I think one of you has threat assessment.
I do.
Yeah, that's a focus that applies for this one.
Well, I rolled just over my security number, so. But I did get 2 successes.
I have a talent for constantly watching to attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies. But I also rolled, so I don't know if any of my focuses come into play here.
What's the talent actually do?
The talent?
Wait, is it your talent or is that a value or something?
I have constantly watching. When you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
Oh, okay. Then you would have had a difficulty 0.
Oh, okay. So I got 2 successes, but I also rolled a 2. So I'm wondering if any of my focuses come into play as well.
What focus would you potentially want to use?
I don't know, investigation?
I'll allow it.
Okay, great. So I got 3 successes.
Did everyone else clear 0? 2. I feel like normally this is why Star Trek doesn't want you to do D&D style everyone rolls, because that's way too much momentum. I'm gonna fudge it. Sorry, audience, we're gonna fudge a little bit. Where the people who do pass, but we're gonna bank like. What's your momentum at right now?
Max.
We have 4 momentum. Oh, are we maxed out?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, let's. Oh, you already maxed?
I thought we were, but I might have missed a
Well,
spin.
let's just say that whatever that was, it maxed you out, but I'm not going to give you like all the per person ones. Everyone who's succeeded, you do notice before you leave the bridge that a light popped on one of the boom, boom, on the internal scanning display from the science station.
Oh, should we check that before we go?
Yeah.
Check what? Oh,
Lieutenant Commander, the science station, there's an alert that just popped on. Looks like
Oh.
internal scanners.
all right, I'll take a look. And I go, life forms.
All it is just a it's nothing major. It's just a transport detected.
That's nothing major. Something just transported aboard the ship, sir.
It's not one thing, it's another. Okay. Where is that in route to engineering?
Yeah, can I scan for a life form and see where it transported on, where it appears to be moving? I'd like to do a scan.
This would be a reason security
Reason
at
security? I do.
At difficulty 2.
All right. All right. I'm not using my science, so I can't buy a die. Well, I can. Can I spend the momentum anyway to buy a die for myself since we're full up?
Can I do the action since what's your reason security? I might have a higher one.
My reason security is 13.
Oh, we're the same. Go ahead. Shoot it.
Actually, is it okay if I spend enough to get 2 extra die? No, wait.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Isn't the ship also helping too?
I have 4. I'm rolling 4 die,
And the ship is helping,
we
so
have
that's
the
5.
ship. So yeah. So we have 5 die. But what's the difficulty again?
2.
2. Okay. I want all the info's missions because this is not a great roll for me. Oh, snap. Okay. 5 successes?
The ship got 1 more.
6. So we're now
I need to
full
make
up
it
with
harder.
3 floating.
Brilliant.
Full of 6, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So did you just go from full to 12?
No,
Anything
full
you
to
want
6 to 3 floating. So we have 9.
Okay. So anything you want to spend, you need to do it before you leave the bridge right now.
Cool.
Or else it just goes back to the state.
Yeah. So I want to first use one of the floating momentum to ask the question, what does the life appear to be?
It is 5 humanoids.
5
Okay.
humanoids. Okay.
Can I suggest? Oh,
yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to suggest that we either get phaser rifles or maybe EV suits in case we need to we could push them into the galley. We have suits they don't. I don't know.
Right.
Might give us a leg up.
Yeah, so we have the 2 momentum that we can spend to make an advantage. I have my studious, so I'm going to go ahead and ask my extra question really fast. My extra question was, in what direction do these humanoids appear to be moving?
It appears that they've beamed into the engineering section.
Of course they do.
Lovely. We're going to have company on our way.
I don't know if this will help at all, but I can try and get into engineering from another route through the Jeffries tubes and try and see if I can work in the back and try and get some more power to the ship if you guys are going to engage them in battle.
I would prefer more sabotage.
Oh.
Sabotage.
Sir, tell me what to do. All my way into engineering.
If you can crawl your way down there, I need to. How are we going to get out of this Jenga puzzle we find ourselves in?
I have an idea, sir.
Yes.
I forget if TOS has force fields, but force fields / locking them into the engineering room so they can't leave.
TOS does have force field, but unlike in TNG times, you can't just place them willy-nilly.
Wherever.
You can put them anywhere. They will be at certain places. If you would like for there to be one at the engineering section, that's another 2 momentum you can use to make it so that a force field does exist there for you to activate.
Can we wait?
We have all this floating.
We have 2 floating momentum. Yeah.
We only have 2 left. Oh, I thought we had more.
We only had 3 momentum floating.
Okay.
I used 1 for a question, and we have 2 now.
Okay.
That we can
floating.
spend.
That is an addition to your maxed out that you can keep.
Right.
Also,
so we do have momentum to spend on a couple of advantages here.
Okay.
And also, I don't know. I don't know if this will help, but I can do trick shot phases. I'm like the Annie Oakley of phases. I can do improvised weapons. So
Okay.
you can call me the MacGyver of phases.
Plans coming together. You're making a lot of human references there. Not everybody here gets all those, but it's okay. What I do need you to do is get your MacGyver on, sir. How many electric explosives can you make me? I don't want a full hole in the ship, but I need them shot. And after you go make those, wait. And then let's section them off with that shield so that we split them up. Make this easier for ourselves. And I don't think we should do it in the engineering room because then we don't know what they are. They might just mess up everything we need to go fix, and now we're stuck on a dead ship. But, yes.
We can't beam off until we get the teleporter working again.
I know. And if we trap them in the engineering room, in their anger, who knows? They might just start breaking stuff, and then we're really screwed. So we need to take them out quickly and the least amount of damage on the ship as possible. So, again, Commander Kane, how long will it take you to make me those grenades?
Well, 3 minutes, to be quite honest. I only need 3 whole solid minutes.
Okay, we have 3 minutes. Engineers, how long will it take you to get those shields ready?
We can do it right now.
Okay, do that.
Which shield do you want them to do?
Where are the life forms? Are we still tracking them?
They're
you
in
mean force
engineering.
They're all 5 of them are in engineering? Can we have 3 of them in engineering and 2 of them on their way?
Oh, you're talking about force fields, yeah?
Yes.
Got it.
For 2 momentum, 2 of them can be on their way to the bridge.
Sick. That would be perfect, honestly. I need you to trap those other 3 into the engineering room. We got to work with what we have. Nix.
For that 2 momentum, though, you need to lure them out somehow. But
I'll get there. Okay.
Okay.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Nix, what combat stuff do you have?
Me, sir? I'm a science officer, sir. Combat was basic for me. I'm not somebody you want to put in the line of fire, sir.
Perfect. That's what I needed to know. Can you help the engineers with crushing that time down to get these shields? I'll be the bait. What's the stat on that? Those grenades.
We have Rambo for our EXO. Our EXO is Rambo.
Commander, here you are. Like I said, I just need 3 minutes, and here you are.
Wait, hold on. Y'all were just talking. No one said they were actually doing anything. If you want to actually make grenades, I'm gonna both ask. One, you need to actually spend momentum to even try to make them because you suddenly have stuff to make grenades with. And 2, making grenades is gonna give me some threat because you're pulling out some big blow up guns right now.
Also, I don't know if we want to throw grenades into the engineering.
That's why I specify shot grenades for the one. It's not for the engineering. It's for the ones coming towards the bridge. Who has had to fight people in space before?
We've all had training.
Training is different from doing.
Here, sir. That is correct.
In any case, if it is our plan to attempt to lure them out, first thing we need to do if we are going to use any specialized weaponry is to figure out exactly where we're going to find it. Perhaps you should make a pit stop in the actual security office to see what supplies might still be on board.
Yes, to the armory.
Where is that? Where is that? Can we track where everyone is on the ship? Like, how are these life forms en route to the armory?
Well, first, did you spend your momentum to make them come yet?
Well, no. Now we're spending momentum for the grenades first. That's the first thing we're doing. How much is that?
It's 2 momentum for every advantage or situation change you want to make happen
I
here.
want 1 grenade. Okay, I need 1 shock grenade.
Okay, that's 2 momentum to have 1 shock grenade.
Okay. And then I need, so that's all of our floating momentum, correct?
We're down to 4 momentum now.
Oh, we're down to 4.
Yes,
Okay.
because we had
Yeah, we
6 momentum
spent-
plus 3. We spent 1 for me to ask a question, 2 to have the advantage of gosh, I can't remember what it was now.
Was it for the shield?
No, it was I
So
think for the force field, but I can't remember.
Earlier, you weren't decided yet whether you wanted to spend it on making the force fields possible or to lure them out. And you said you did not want to lure them out yet.
We used it on, no. We used it.
Commander,
I don't know if we did.
Commander,
spend-
You didn't.
We
use
might
that
not
yet.
have used it.
Yeah.
We might
We
not
didn't
have.
use
Then we
it.
might
We
still
did
have
it.
6
Yeah, we
plus
didn't do
the
it.
2 floating. All right.
Yeah.
might I make
okay.
a suggestion, Commander? Might I make a suggestion?
Yes.
So, like I said, I am the Annie Oakley of phasers. We don't need to
understand.
create an IED of some sort. No need to have some sort of explosive that could potentially harm us as well as them, you know? What we really need is just for me to shoot some concrete off of the ceiling, have it fall on them.
Okay, Commander Kane, I appreciate your rambunctious nature, but we have 3 people in here right now who have no actual combat experience, so we need to minimize the amount of time we are fighting these
Exactly.
creatures, okay?
Yeah.
So
So,
we
and-
don't know what they
Yeah.
are or who
We
they are.
have Starfleet combat training.
And yes, as well
Again,
as
I will say, practice is not the same as real things. I have had to see something die before. I'm trying to help you all. I'm trying to protect you.
Commander,
um,
Commander, can we step over here for just a moment, please?
Yes.
And if you do not take action after this side conversation, I'm adding more threat because y'all have been in the bridge a long ass time.
Yeah, that's fair. Permission to speak freely, sir?
Go ahead.
I think this might be one of those times where living vicariously through me might not be the worst idea. You're scaring your crew. And I don't think they appreciate that you are diminishing the training that we all received. They might be skilled combatants, and you would have no idea because you're not even giving them the opportunity.
I am trying to prevent what I have seen time and time again. I don't want to be like the captains I've served on, where they send red shirts all willy-nilly to go die at whatever is in-faced. I'm trying to protect them and keep them alive. War is violent and terrible, as I spoke about earlier. Now we are having practical examples of it. I just want us to have the best advantage possible to take out whatever it is, if need be. That's why I wanted shock grenades. I didn't want to actually blow them up. I wanted to stun it, so then we can see what we're dealing with. And then after that, we can go attack the other 3 accordingly.
Can I eavesdrop on this
Does that
conversation?
make sense?
I can also make a chemical bomb to knock them out if you want that as well. If you don't want any damage to the system, and I can crawl in and drop it from the ceiling.
Let's do that. We're going to start with that.
See, sir? They're very capable.
You know what? Nix, again, points to you. So let's make this chemical concoction. You crawl up through the things. Me and Kane will be the distractors and give you the opening to drop the concoction down upon them. Everybody ready?
And
while that's happening,
Might I
Yeah.
also suggest we contain those chemical concoctions with the force fields so it doesn't
Correct.
spread throughout the whole ship?
you're a step ahead of me. Look at us, working like a wonderful machine. Okay,
Commander, may I speak freely?
go ahead. What's going to stop you now?
Commander, Commander, I feel that you're not utilizing my special skills. Like I said, I do trick
I
shots.
literally just said you and I are going to go meet Lee. What do you mean? Me and you and I, 2 beings are going to go meet them. I feel like I'm utilizing you.
You're right, sir, and I will be there with you. We draw them out, and while we're drawing them out, along with the gas bomb of some sort, I use my special skill of a trick shot phaser and shoot the ceiling, allowing the ceiling to drop on all three of them.
You really want to shoot the ceiling for some reason, but so we'll do it. We'll do it. Fine. Okay, that would be the distraction. Before we show ourselves, shoot the ceiling, shoot away at the ceiling, and knock it down upon them. Okay.
I think we should get moving soon.
Let us get after it. Okay.
We shall.
Force fields. Can we do that?
All right. So again, it is 2 momentum per advantage you want to do, 2 for the force field, and then 2 to have you have the chemical bomb.
We'll spend those 2.
So that's 4 total.
So we have 4 total. Yeah.
We have 4. Yeah, we have currently 4 momentum.
4 left. Okay.
Great. You do find that the force field does exist. You'd probably need to do some stuff to actually activate it when you're ready. And as far as the gas bomb, you make the gas bomb. Basic training for not necessarily Starfleet officers. They may not actually be told this unless they're a chemical specialist, but as an operations custodian and maintenance crew person, you know that there are certain cleaning chemicals you do not mix together. They will react in a volatile fashion and potentially knock people out. There was that one time back at the, Starfleet Academy has the maintenance annex for non-commissioned and one time they mixed those 2 chemicals together, knocked out a whole class of 50. And you remember that because you were the next period after that, and you were like, are you not done yet? So you make one of those, and you make your way to outside engineering.
Bleach and ammonia.
Okay.
1 more momentum down because it's a new scene.
Okay.
So we're at 3 right now.
Yes, we have 3 momentum.
Copy that.
Okay. So we've made our way. Am I crawling into the Jeffries tube to try and drop my bomb inside?
Yes.
Yes, you can do so. That is a fitness plus engineering. Difficulty 1. You've done this before. It's not ridiculous, but you do have to try to be stealthy about it.
Let me know when you're in position, okay? Chang?
With your communicators, you can coordinate.
One of my focuses is ship layout. Does this help me?
Absolutely. You know those Jeffries tubes inside and out, and this is the same exact class as your starship.
Okay. Just trying to see if I can steal anything. Okay. You said fitness and
Engineering.
Fitness and engineering. Okay. Okay. I got 2 successes.
Cool. It was difficulty 1, so you bank 1 more momentum, and you make your way to the position.
Okay.
You do see them in there. They are dressed with puffy shirts. Some are open. Some have kind of black or brown vests, like leather vests. They're wearing tight pants with tall boots. They each have swords and some sort of firearm at their side.
Are they attractive?
Varyingly so. 3 of them are very much not. One seems like they have scarred up arms. One's missing an eye. One has a sort of prosthetic leg, but instead of a peg, it's like a very shiny.
I don't know. Some people could be into all of that. So.
Sure, that is valid.
I was thinking the same thing.
These are not maybe traditionally Earth attractive by media standards of the 23rd century, but 2 of them seem like they're young and strapping and muscular and stuff, and maybe they haven't seen enough fights yet to suffer some battle scars.
Mm-hmm. Can I listen to what they're talking about?
Sure. Roll an insight plus. What are you trying to listen for?
Just like what they're doing there, like what they're trying to do in the engineering area.
Sure.
Or if we're just chatting, I just want to know what's going on.
Sure. Roll insight plus security, difficulty 2.
Okay, that's 1 success. Oh, 2 successes.
Great. Exactly enough. You hear them speaking. The captain wanted us to seize the engine room. I don't even see an engine. Where are the wheels? Oh, you know, these Navy ships. They don't have the wheels and proper turns like we do to crank the sails. They operate on magic, basically. Magic. I don't understand. Didn't we already come here? We did already come here. The captain doesn't trust us. They sent us through that pad from the other ship in here, and I don't like it. There's not even anyone on this ship. And they continue to grumble in such fashion.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit my communicator to like indicate that I'm in place, but I don't say anything.
Uh,
I'm waiting for a signal, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, crew person Chang has made it into her spot in the Jeffries tubes and is waiting upon signal. Meanwhile, you all have been waiting for a few minutes, and you get a noting that a communication channel has been opened on her side.
I believe that means she's in place.
Got it. Great. Okay.
Force field is not yet active, but you can activate it, by the way. You've not actually turned it on yet.
We're not going to do that yet. Inside, where are we at with the force field? You ready to go?
I'm ready to go, sir.
Okay. Whew. Now, do you understand what we are doing again, Commander Quilkane?
So, I am quite aware of what we're doing. Another focus that I have is that I'm a master of disguise. So, if you want to utilize that, I think we shall.
No.
What?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna make an
Mhm.
executive decision and say no. We're not doing that.
Let's stick to
What
the plan.
we're
Yes,
going to do-
yes.
What we're
Okay.
going to do is
Yes.
we're going to turn the corner, okay? Make
Yes.
sure that they see us. You're going to do your Annie Oakley thing once they start to move towards us. And then once you hit 3, that's when we open up the force fields. Chang drops down the gas, and now we've knocked them unconscious. We retain them, and then we bring them and we interrogate them while we fix the engines. Everybody got the plan?
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready?
At the ready,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, the cue is hot tamale, okay? Hot tamale. That means Ensign, you stop the shields. Chang, you drop the gas, and you get out. Okay. Phasers ready?
Also, one thing, I'm quite sorry. I apologize before we get started. Chang, if Ensign Chang, if you don't mind making sure to clear your way out of the tubes, because I will be shooting up, and I don't want to, of course, shoot you. So, just try to steer clear out of the way. Just let me know when you're, not out of the tube, but per se, but after you dropped it, and then when you leave.
How about you don't aim for the tube? Aim for the middle of the thing. The tube's on the side.
That's a great
Aim
idea.
for the middle.
That's amazing. You know what? That's why you an EXO. That's why. Okay, good. I'm at the ready, sir.
Okay. Whew.
Okay.
I want to turn the corner and do this whole plan. Can I use a focus that is survival? Because I feel like I'm gonna need it.
I feel like survival as written is implied to surviving in the wild or surviving when you don't have supplies and stuff needed, or else we could have applied to
team dynamics. Team dynamics.
Team dynamics, yes, very much so.
Okay. Oh,
So do we all have to
what's
roll
a value
for-
give you again? What's a value give you again?
Oh, if you spend a determination because you are invoking one of your values, it's on the other style sheet that we have where it lists you can it can give you it can basically give you an extra 2 successes on top, or you can use it to re-roll a thing that you already messed up on, I believe, fully, and then 1 or 2 other actions. It's actually on the traditional on the alternate sheet that we normally use for Blood of the Void.
The most common usage of it is that it will give you an auto crit on top of whatever
you roll.
you roll.
Okay.
And you can only do it once per session.
Instead of that, I have follow my lead. Once per scene, when you succeeded a task during combat or another perilous situation, you may spend 1 determination. If you do choose a single ally, the next task the ally attempts counts as having assistance from you using your presence and command. If the time comes with your shot, Annie Oakley, I'll use that. All right, we ready? Let's go. We turn the corner, and then what happens?
All right. You turn the corner. You currently have initiative. We are in combat. Remember that combat happens kind of like a doubles match, or I guess this in case a 5-on-5 tennis match where you do something, then the one person on your team does something, then one person on their team does something.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend momentum to keep the initiative so that it's still on your side, so that you can do 2 things in a row or whatever. So we start with our away team. One of you can do a thing right now because you're catching them first.
Go ahead and shoot the ceiling.
Sir, I was told not to shoot the ceiling. I was told to shoot the ceiling after the bomb is dropped. I don't know if it's a communication problem, if there's, I don't understand. I mean, I thought I was very clear. I thought you were very clear in what you wanted to do. But if you want me to shoot the ceiling right now, I'll shoot it. It's quite all right.
Yes, can they hear all of this and be turning around? Well, they hear this having this argument.
Are you just slowly turning back to look at him?
Shoot the ceiling!
Shooting the ceiling, sir. Shooting the ceiling right now. Shooting it right now, sir.
Okay, so that is it was a control plus security. If you were just shooting one person, that would be like difficulty 2. I'm going to add 1 difficulty because you're aiming above them to make the ceiling stuff fall and distract them. And if it does, you will retain initiative. But that's a difficulty 3, control plus security. Trick shots absolutely count here.
Yes, you see, that's called 2 successes because I told you, sir, I am the Annie Oakley.
So it's a difficulty of 3.
Well, I have a 4 and a 12.
Oh, what's your security rating?
15.
No, what's your security stat by itself?
Oh, my security is 5.
So 4 falls under that under trick shot. So you actually have 3 successes.
See, sir, I told you.
That was real close to you.
I didn't get shot, right?
You did not get shot. That was real close to you just shooting the ceiling and just hitting the ceiling. But you know how to do these. This is a trick shot. Not only do you know that you have to shoot across an arc, but engineering of a starship actually has a lot of weird angles. But you know that there's certain plating up in the corners that if you shoot and bank it, they will actually reflect a phaser shot. So you shoot across that, and instead of sweeping your arm like someone untrained would do, you change the angle of your shot so that the mirror shot shoots across the ceiling, and then what looks like foam rocks but is actually very serious titanium hull and internal structure falls onto these 5. They are on the ground. You've retained initiative. It's they're bumped and bruised, so you haven't like seriously injured them, but you have retained initiative for 1 more round or for 1 more turn.
I hear the shooting, and I throw my little like concoction down, and I crawl my way out of there after I drop it.
Okay. Let's see. This would be a control plus security. You're trying to get it into a right location. Because it is a gas bomb, like all you're trying to do, like, I'm not going to make you do an exact hit. It just needs to get into the room. Difficulty 1.
Okie dokie. Oh, okay. I got 1. 2 successes.
Great. Bank 1 momentum. Knowing that it's going to be a big gas bomb, you don't try to like throw it willy-nilly. You just like let it roll down. So you let it roll down. The moment it impacts the floor, the 2 parts of it break apart, and you get a thick, luscious, light purple gas filling the room. And so as these guys are getting up, even though these are serious, duranium and titanium hull, they're getting up as if it's foam falling off of them. And then right as they do that, the gas fills the room, and they all just like pass out.
What is
We probably want that force
Oh,
field
they
now.
passed out. Do we need to retain initiative still?
No, but the gas is spreading.
Okay, yeah.
Force field.
Close the force field.
All right. I'd like to close the force field.
Great. That is a control plus engineering roll at difficulty 2, since you had to exactly time it.
I should have bought a. Oh, well, I rolled well. Difficulty 2. You said I got 2 successes, but I have engineering 4. Power systems. Would that apply here?
And would the ship have rolled for this?
Oh, you know what? Sure, the ship should roll to help you. It's going to be in structure plus security for a force field, and it did help. 1 more success.
All right, that's 3 total.
All right, that puts us at 5 momentum.
So you estimate just enough time to make sure that you don't force field through a crew person Chang on the outside far on the engineering perimeter, as well as your own door. You count, thinking about how far Chang would have to crawl, and then the force field goes on.
Force fields are up, Commander.
So I do feel I should point out one potential issue. We've contained the gas and also the 5 intruders, but we've contained them all inside of engineering, which we need to get into in order to be able to repair the ship. So we have to figure out a way to expel the gas.
Before you all continue that conversation, you hear a chick, 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 chick.
Oh.
Hello.
Is that a communicator?
Hello.
Kensington to away team.
Yes.
This is Commander Ozil. Yes, Lieutenant Commander. We've been boarded by, it appears to be, pirates. I'm holed up in engineering. Look, I don't have much time. What I need to tell you is that we made the connection based on the data transfer, and I've locked out, and for now I've locked out the controls. They cannot control the inquiry. However, and then right when you hear that, you hear a and then the line cuts.
Okay. Risky business. Did everybody hear everything that happened, or do I have to read?
Was the captain?
You all heard it. You held out like speakerphone style.
Okay. All right.
That was the captain?
That was Chief Engineer Kensington.
Our Chief Engineer. Oh boy, somebody just got promoted.
You're starting to get it, Nix. I like it.
I pop out from a wall and come back. I did it. How'd it go?
Well, we have to figure out a way to get all of the gas out of engineering now. How long did you say it takes to clear?
Well, we could probably
Vent it. We can
run
vent
the
it
life
quickly.
support systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can vent it out quickly. Let's
let it sit in there a little bit longer. Those dudes took that hole and just hopped up really quickly. So let's let it sit for a little bit more before we run those vents.
It's
Can't you just use a base liquid in order to counteract those acid liquids in order to clear the gas?
What's your science rating, Kane?
Oh, it's a 1. But this was something.
Okay, so no. You do say that, and everyone else knows that a base and an acid was mixed to make that reaction in the first place. But you're like, this is definitely science that you know. For sure.
Nix just kind of gives you a look of like,
That's a great
Right?
idea, Lieutenant Commander. A wonderful idea.
I'm gonna go over here.
I think we can try and do that with the oxygen and try and vent some of the air out based on an extension of your hypothesis.
Oh, I feel like you suggested that before, but you're giving me credit for what you suggested by venting it in the first place. But go ahead. Very well.
No one would ever dream of doing that.
Is that sarcasm?
You know what? I would
Yes.
dream of it.
That's sarcasm, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, it clearly was sarcasm. I understand it. Yes, now it's gnawing at my flesh.
Kane, our first engineer was just shot twice. We have 5 hulking brutes trapped in this room. can we stop with the jokes and the shenanigans for one moment and assess our situation?
Yes, I apologize, Commander. I apologize.
Ensign, can you vent the room from your controls?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, you could just do that.
Boop.
Do we have anything? Wait, don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. Do we have anything? Do we have anything to secure them? Like, do we have
Oh,
are there
should-
cuffs? Are there anything
yeah.
to restrain these people?
should tie them up.
They're
Well,
going to be knocked out.
For 2 momentum, you can have whatever you want to restrain them.
We should
How
do
many
that.
do we have?
We have 5.
and we have
Let's
5
spend
momentum.
2.
Yeah, we
Let's
could say
spend
that
2.
on our way down, we stopped by like security to grab the stuff that we needed for like, yeah.
Can we
I
tie
can
them up?
also just pull some wires out from the wiring panel that aren't needed anymore if you want that.
I don't think it'll
But
be
we-
strong enough, but I appreciate the initiative. Once everybody gets here, is
No.
everybody here now?
Yes, yeah, I was just going to say. No, really. No, really. One of my focuses,
Oh my god.
one of my focuses is Quixote phases. So if they
Oh my-
wake up again, I just really sitting again. And then
Commander, if you do not desist,
Anyway, you should take some action soon.
Kane, I will literally shoot you. I will shoot you myself before I let these people do anything to you if you don't stop. Now, this is what we are going to do. We're going to vent the room, and we are going to tie them up. The biggest one in there, we're going to tie them up twice, and then we're going to put them we're going to drag them by that door that shoots out into space in case things get problematic. Okay? Everybody good?
Okay.
Understood.
All right.
Understood.
sir.
Vent it, and then let's open this up.
All right, you hit the button.
Boop.
You hear a whirring in the room, and then until a light goes boonk and lights green on your display mural.
Okay, we're vented.
All right.
We go tie them up now.
Yeah,
Yes.
the doors open and you can go in. They're still knocked out, and you tie them up.
I go for the most attractive one and claim him as mine.
Okay. I don't know how you do that, but you can.
With
call-
my eyes, I just find the most attractive one and start tying him up.
Oh, okay. Then sure. There's one that's like younger. The puffy shirt is like unbuttoned, so it's like you see like kind of Ripley chest there. And you know, he has kind of like a wavy dark hair. Also, let me know if I'm like misguessing the gender or whatever.
All correct so far. All correct.
Great. Wavy hair and, you know, kind of a swashbuckling, dashing look if it weren't for the fact that they seem to be trying to hijack your Starfleet ship.
Great.
Okay.
I tie him up.
Chang, focus up. Stop caressing the prisoner. Let's
Yes,
line
okay.
them up across this wall.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so you tie them all up to like one of the engineering support posts.
No, what's the space that leads into the
Oh.
what room? Yeah, I want to tie them up near there.
So there's 2 places.
Galley?
One was the galley back on deck 4.
The galley.
And then the other place that you know for sure has a hole in it is up in the big science hall, the sensor hall.
Well, let's go to whichever one is closer.
The
And then
galley.
I want the 2 engineers to start working on everything we need to work for, and we'll drag these bodies over there.
I
Great.
think that I will stay with the engineers because I think my help will probably be more useful here with them, while our two manly men, you know, do their interrogation thing downstairs.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Shut up and grab a body. And then I
I have another focus that you maybe are not aware of, but I have special interrogation skills, sir. So I may be useful in this. I'm just saying.
But grab
But I
a
will
body.
say-
We still have to carry them. we carry.
Sir,
we just fast
I
forward
am
to us carrying them.
250 pounds. There's no problem with carrying 3 of them, if you will. You see.
Okay, so the 2 lieutenant commanders carry the bodies out to by the doors of the galley, while the operations crew and the science officer remain in engineering. We are still in engineering. A scene has changed though, so lose 1 momentum. But so, what are you all trying to do
Now
here?
down to 2 momentum.
In engineering, I think the tasks were get the transporters working, get tactical, and propulsion. Was it all 3 of those things? Okay.
I think we'll prioritize transport first.
Yeah,
right?
getting off the ship has to be our priority.
So
just in case
before
none of that other
any
stuff
of that,
works.
you do need to restore actual working power and not just minimal engineering, minimal emergency power. Emergency power was enough for the computer to transfer data. To do any actual thing, ship maneuvers, transport, weapons, shields, anything like that, you will need to actually restore power from auxiliary.
We do that.
Great.
We need
It
to do
is
our work.
it is either control or daring. Plus, I will allow con or engineering here. Normally it's plus con because you're doing it from the bridge, but since you're in engineering, you can use engineering instead.
I think I know earlier we spent momentum to get an extra power thing. Did that not count as this?
Extra power thing?
Yeah, when we
So we
repaired the science station, we spent some momentum to like get more power.
Oh, that was so that the ship helps you at all.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but our engines are still not online, and we need to turn on our engines to like the warp core to get any additional power.
Okay. So you said, did you say?
But my control and con, I have 14.
So you can use any combination of control daring, and con engineering.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have
I would
14.
do daring
Okay.
engineer.
What's your total number?
My daring and engineering is 14.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
We're the same.
Yeah, I also have 14 too.
I have power systems as a focus.
Yes, absolutely counts.
You go for it.
Okay.
I'll support you.
Specifically, this.
You assess. Okay, cool.
So it's difficulty
we're
2.
rolling. Uh-huh.
And then you can restore 1 power point plus 1 more per momentum you have. So it's difficulty 2 to start.
And so I can use my cautious engineering. I'll spend a momentum for an extra die.
Okay.
That was a good roll. 3 successes.
Great.
And
No
Awesome.
crit.
Oh, were you assisting?
Yeah.
Roll your 1 die.
I got 1 success.
Oh, okay, great. So that's 4 total successes off of difficulty 2. The ship now has 1 power plus you get 2 momentum. You can spend momentum at a 1-to-1 rate to restore 1 more power each.
The ship has 1 power, you said?
Yeah, but you can also spend momentum for 1 more power per momentum you want to spend.
How much power do we need to like run stuff? What's the minimum?
So these are based on like the earlier things, right? So if you wanted to do a transport, I would want to have 1 power used to do transport. Any weapon, any phasers or anything like that you want to use is going to be from using power to shoot phasers.
Mm-hmm.
To restore the shields, you're going to need to spend power to restore shields.
Okay. So we should spend all the momentum, we
Mhm.
think. Okay.
Or you
Yeah,
know,
we currently have 4.
Do you want to spend 2 so that we can do stuff with the ship?
Yeah, so that would be 3 power total.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Commander, we did it.
So we have 1 momentum.
even though the warp core is still down, you are able to like activate the fusion reactors that power the impulse engines. So while that's not main power, you don't have like full ship, full restore. You have activated enough power that you can actually run different actual ship systems.
Okay.
So this is, and then that's the fusion core that runs the impulse engine. So you will be able to do limited amounts of impulse, some maneuvering, and then, yeah, you only have the 3 power to work with, but you have power.
Great. Maybe I can get some better, some more in-depth information about where that ship might have come from and what it's doing out here. And maybe I can help corroborate whatever information the EXO and this chief security officer are able to get from the people who've invaded the ship.
Yeah. So are you trying to do a thing, or do you want to see what they are finding out?
I'd like to see if I can do a better, like maybe deeper scan of the ship, see if I can't figure out its origin, like any information about like its hull makeup or stuff like that. So
Sure. You'd probably have to either go to a science station somewhere or back to the bridge to do it.
If there's a science station down here I can work from, I'm gonna try and stick with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, just to check, we are coming close to our end here, but you two, the XO and the security chief, are you doing anything special beyond just once you've tied them up? Are you going to do anything? Just go ahead and declare the action.
Yes. I want to use Special Man here's interrogation abilities on whichever is the youngest looking one. I want to tie that one up to the door that goes out to the one that goes into space, and I want him to interrogate that one.
You're doing what to interrogate them? I got cut off.
I want to tie him up to the door that will shoot him out into space, and then I want Kane to interrogate him.
Great, you set that up, Kane. You can bring one back to awake, and then you can do a let's see, what would it be here? Presence plus command to interrogate them.
Yes. Well, I take
difficulty 1.
Am I able to take the most prettiest, handsomest one, the one that Chang was looking at?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do
Chang
that.
doesn't like that, but they don't know right now.
Exactly. Mr. Johnny Depp here. I'm going to take him, put him with the other individual, put him in the galley. Is that correct, sir?
Oh, so you just separate them, or?
No, I'm sorry, sir. Where are we taking them? We're taking them to the other room.
You're already at the galley. It's already set up. You can just start talking to them.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Just start interrogating.
Let us go. Yes.
So roll your presence plus command, difficulty 1.
Got it. Smile. Okay, here we are. 13. Come on. All right, I got a 13 and a 10, and my presence and command is a 13. So then I have 2 successes, correct?
Correct. Off of a difficulty 1. So that's 1 more momentum. Yeah, you slap him awake, or you waken him, and then go ahead and play this out.
Yes. Hello there, pretty boy. How are you? You seem to be of the humanoid species, but I'm not going to assume that you are. What are you?
We're not like you. You are the species that we all call Lanlubert.
Lanlubert. Yes, I've heard of it.
What do you call yourselves?
We are Pirata.
And I don't like that answer, so I take my right hand and I smack him across the face. Dare you?
How dare you smack a Pirata, Lanlubert?
How dare you say Pirata? It's offensive. I don't like you or your kind.
What's the deal here? What's up with the harpoons? Why'd you attack this ship? Why are you attacking our ship?
These are the natural way of things. There are those like you, the Lanluberts, who rely on your navy, but we instead are Pirata. We sail the space and the stars, free to take and find the treasure that we find.
What? That's basically the same thing. You're relying on ships to go throughout space and find things.
Yes, you feel like you can.
What are you saying?
Some sort of you're coming off of like some sort of entitled pirate. You feel like you can just take everything, like everything is you're deserving of everything, like you can just have it at your will. For that, I will smack you again in your on the left side of your cheek.
We were warned that you Lanluberts would not understand. It is spoken in the book. The stars are for freedom, much like the oceans of our ancestors were for freedom.
What's your planet? What do you have It's just making a real long day for me here, buddy. And I just want to get back to my ship and enjoy things. Did you kill the other people that were on the ship?
We do not kill those who are not able to defend themselves. The few that were able to defend themselves quickly surrendered when we pulled our pistols at them.
Pistols?
But we have captured them.
You have like old. Can we search them for guns?
Sure. You find one.
What? I didn't even know they still made this. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. This is a side. What's the objective here, buddy? What's your objective? What's your objective? Is it really just taking things? That's it?
He says, you fools, you Navy Landlubers followed the other ship that we already just took down. We took all of their gold and minerals, and we will take whatever is on your ship as well. Even if you've captured us, our crew has already captured your ship, and soon another will follow.
Young man, I don't like your tone. And what I do is I just quickly take my right foot and I front thrust kick him out into the vacuum.
Hey, relax. What? We can't do that.
Oh, there were 5 of them. There were 5
We're
of them.
supposed to equip diplomacy first, bro. Relax. Okay?
This is why you are EXO. This is why you are EXO. Correct. I apologize, sir.
Look, pal. I think that there is a misunderstanding, okay? Like, what is the problem on your planet that you have to be, resigned to piracy? Like, what did you have? Is this a need, or are you really just on some Klingon stuff and you just like violence? What's going on here?
XO, roll your presence plus command to get him to just to actually try to reason with him right now.
Yeah.
It's difficulty 1.
Really? 3 successes. I got a 1, and then I got a 12.
Nice. Thank you. He says, where we are from, it is mostly ocean. We have survived by sailing the seas. And then one time, a book came from the skies, and it explained that treasure is land. And within this book, we understand that to find this treasure, we must adopt the way of pirata. And if we are pirata, we will find treasure, and the treasure will become the land in which we can live. For treasure is land.
All right, I want to take Kane and pull him to the side. Okay, Kane, I don't have a full understanding of what it is to be human, but one time when I was back on Earth, I do remember seeing a movie. I believe it was called. Does what he's talking about sound like that?
It could be. It's probably more like manifest destiny. They feel it within their holy right to take whatever's theirs. And that I have a problem with. If you don't mind, I'd love to front kick one of them out inside the watch and just kick him right inside space. I want to kick him right out into space, sir.
I understand. I feel like you got a weird problem with this guy because he's reasonably attractive. You need to snap it together, okay? You need to get it together, all right?
This is true.
Can we hear all of this happening?
Unless they had their communications on. No, you were busy, restoring power to the ship.
Just curious.
I'm gonna go back to look, buddy, Bucko. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and where's your communicators? Like, how do you talk to your command? What's the deal here?
We
if
would
you
wait.
Don't tell me, I'm gonna let him kick you. So I mean,
the plan was to wait until they contacted the ship. They would seize the other one, and we would know when they had all the treasure and the people taken.
Okay. We'll step to the side. Hey, Nix, how are things going down there in the engineering room?
Running some deep scans of their ship now, sir.
Go ahead and roll those if you'd like.
Yeah.
Do we already do that? We didn't do that yet, right?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a reason.
I'm going to go ahead and spend a momentum for... Actually, kind of want to burn a value just because the values I got were fun. So you tell me. So like a lot about what's happened is inexplicable to me because I don't have the context to really understand what's going on. So let's see. I have a couple that might work here. What I know will never surpass what I don't, or magic is science we can't explain yet. In parentheses.
What's the other one other than the magic of science?
What I know will never surpass what I don't. I also have seek out new life and embrace it, and don't just use your eyes to see.
Any of those will apply, I think, if you're just trying to find out more about, you're trying to find out what makes this culture tick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so I burned that value, and I'm going to roll my
reason,
what's
science.
My,
the ship is helping.
What's my difficulty?
It's a. Describe to me exactly what you're trying to figure out here.
So I don't know what this ship is made out of. I don't know how it's powered. I don't know, and like we have no idea where anyone on this ship has gone. Like I want to know everything there is possible to know about this pirate ship.
Let's do a full 4.
4? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. May I spend? Go ahead. Sorry.
Can we help? Because I also want to know, like, can we figure out if the crew people from the the Eureka are on the pirate ship?
You can try to find that out, but I don't. You'd have to tell me how you're helping Lieutenant Commander Nix do that.
Helping her do scans, or helping them do scans? No.
You could also help them do scans just by working the station next to them, but that would just also be a reason science roll on your end.
And this is where I come in because, like I said, my focus is interrogation. So,
but you're not here.
Also,
You're not here.
They're in engineering still.
Yes, I am. I'm just here for moral support. Goodbye.
Yeah. So can I just also assist?
Yeah, sure. Reason science.
Cool. All right. Here we go. So we already have 2 successes. Cool. Can I use my cultural studies or xenobiology focus for this?
Absolutely, cultural studies.
Cool. I mean, it did not help, unfortunately.
Okay, sure.
Roll low enough. I'm just 1 above. But that is 2 successes from me.
Plus your determination spend.
So it's 4.
And then what did you get, Chang?
I did not help at all.
Okay, you were like the monitor has signals here.
Good job.
Yes, I see that, Chang. Thank you very much. Does the ship help me?
The ship adds 1 more.
So that's 5 successes total.
Yes, you bank 1 momentum.
Whew.
But because I raised the difficulty really high, we won't have to do a momentum per question. You notice that the ship, even though it's oddly structured, you've seen naval ships and sailing ships over water. Trill has water. Trill has oceans. You studied Starfleet's basic, not only basic history of Earth and Doria and Vulcan. Vulcan has way fewer oceans, but all these other places do have water. And it looks like this is a natural outcropping of the old style Age of Sail ships, where they're using sails that are powered by instead of wind, they're relying on interstellar masses and radiation. Instead of like a traditional impulse engine and maneuvering thrusters, it's almost like they have a rudder that just changes which way the sails are catching. And the ship even has broadside guns, except instead of gunpowder, it's like mass drivers. So they use like high-powered magnets and electromagnets to fire still like particles of cannonballs basically into space, and that's probably what pierced all these ships earlier. Yeah, and basically they seem like naval pirates, or a culture that's built their whole spacefaring culture on naval piracy culture.
And how many life boards are currently aboard the ship? I'm willing to spend a momentum for that at least.
It's like when you actually start doing that, like tons of numbers start showing up. It's like blip, 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 blip. There are at least 300 life forms above on just the like outer parts of the lower hull of the ship alone.
I think I found our prisoners, or our crew anyway. They appear to be, Commander. They appear to be holding the crew in the hull of the pirate ship. I can confirm that for you.
Do you see any entrances near the holdings?
I can see if I can get a layout of the inside of the ship.
Could you do that for me? And
We also have transporters online.
Huh?
We have transporters online. We could attempt to beam them back over.
Each transport is probably just going to be one transporter pad's worth of people.
Yeah. It's not like TNG where we can just do masses of people at once. You're right. But we could go over there.
Might I make a suggestion? So
Sure.
I am master of disguise. I can take the clothes of these individuals, disguise myself, act as though I was maybe captured by you all, and then try to rescue the rest that are over there. If I can get inside the hull. But it's up to you, XO.
How about this, Master of Disguise? You take that dude's clothes, you dress up like him, we'll beam you over, you unlock that, and then let them run amok in the ship, and then we'll teleport onto the other ship. That work for you?
Yes, what I suggested in the beginning. Good.
Oh, okay, perfect. I didn't hear you because it froze. So
Oh no, that's what I suggested, shall we? Because we're all running out of time, you know.
then let's go ahead. Let's get it done.
All right, what are you doing?
We're gonna beam him over to where the prisoners thing is, and then he's gonna try to break into that hole and release the prisoners.
Great.
You gonna send anybody over with him to help him break in? Because he's probably gonna need an engineer of some kind.
Either of you all want to go with him?
Sure.
Who's feeling courageous?
You know what? I heard Inside
Okay,
talking
great.
about they were very prepared for dangerous situations, so I
I
feel like let's give her a shot.
Actually, Commander, if you will, Ensign Morale,
Yes.
you've always said that you wanted to operate a ship, correct? Is this right?
Yes.
Yes, you've
Yeah.
always wanted to operate. Well, now is the opportunity. So, if you want to come with me, and maybe we'll work our way over to the helm and see if
We're
we
gonna
can...
beam you. Hey, we're gonna beam you on. So
We're gonna
there's
beam them
no
over, but
shipping.
once you've taken over the ship, they might need somebody to drive.
Yeah. So
Let's do it.
let's get ready to beam.
All right. Ready.
Great. We cut to the transporter room. You can use one power to beam them over. Do you do so?
Yes.
Great. You beam over to... Tell me where you want to be beaming over into the other ship.
Their brig, or where I guess close to the prisoners. that we
Right.
could
You
take
beam
there?
in, and inside it looks like wood paneling, except there is like metallic bars, and you see hundreds of Starfleet officers in there. When you beam in, a woman with like brunette hair, tied back, and then command gold and the stripes, the captain stripes. She's like, "Thank God!" But hi, I'm Captain Iris Aguilar of the USS Eureka.
Oh,
Hello, Captain. Pleasure to meet you. We're here to spring you from jail.
Oh, thank goodness. I oddly enough, once they took us, and they just took our minerals down to their cargo hold, and they haven't come down since.
Oh. Well, that's good for us.
I mean, it's mostly just a barrel of gruel back here, but
Yeah.
can you...
might I make a suggestion?
Yes?
Yes, I'm thinking, since there's so many of you, maybe what we can do is transport all of you in a cargo in some sort of big box, and transport that big box over to our ship. Would that work?
She
No?
says, Lieutenant... She looks at your sleeves. Lieutenant Commander, first things first, can you shoot the lock? I'm sorry, Lieutenant Commander, you seem to be speaking to yourself under your breath.
Yes, no, I was just in my mind. I was like, look at this. This is made of wood, and I have a phaser. Pew, 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 pew. And I shoot it.
Okay. Roll your control plus security. Difficulty 2.
If I assist, can we say that we open all the locks for all
Yes.
of them? Okay. Difficulty 2. What would you like me to roll?
Describe how you're assisting.
I think I'm just going to also pull out my phaser and pew pew the
Control security
locks.
then.
Okay.
I have 2 successes there.
Great. We'll see.
And I got one more.
Great. Bank 1 momentum. You open it up, and then the moment you open it up, the captain just pushes past you and goes, "Thank you so much. Crew, let's take over the ship." So before you get a chance to like suggest your transport into a cargo box situation, these hundreds of Starfleet crew just start like rushing out the rest of the ship. And you hear various like pistol fire, and then people like yelling as you hear like punches and stuff. As you follow them until basically like because all the crew has been split over to the Inquiry and the Eureka, this ship by itself is understaffed. Until you all eventually come to the bridge, which is just like a little area near the front of the actual like if the cylinder had a bow, it would be there. And then this crew and you all catch up to the bridge, and there's one captain there who's he has like a mustache and a goatee and dark hair, and he's like, "You Landluberas have bested the Pirata?"
But of course, what do you think? I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, what's with this ship? Who's running it?
I am. He says, I'm the dread pirate Flint Darkstar. But I admit that today you have bested me, the captain of the galaxy's bounty. Name your price. Do you want our doubloons, triploons?
We just want our ships back, and we want you to stop, doing this whole thing you're doing. Oh, sorry, I'm not the senior officer here. Look at me.
You can roll your presence or command. Presence plus command.
Okay.
Difficulty 4.
I'd like to pop a value for determination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've got to rely on each other. Nothing but the truth. Just being very truthful in this moment. Ready at a moment's notice. Or member of the Flying Angels, which was her risky pilot group.
I don't know if any of those apply to convincing him to stand down. If you can convince me how they can convince him to stand down, I'm happy to hear it.
You know what I actually wanted to do, no lie, before this conversation, I wanted to just punch him and just like.
Okay, in that case, roll your roll your daring plus security.
Okay.
And he will do a roll. It is an opposed roll, difficulty 1.
I'd like to buy a die, please. Oh, it's difficulty 1. I'll still buy a die.
But it's opposed because he's also rolling a difficulty.
We have enough that if you wanted to, you could buy 2. That would take us down.
I mean, I might as well, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I'm buying
2 momentum.
Buying 2 die for rolling. 1, 2 successes from that.
Great. He got none. So you caught him in time. Like he was like, "What do you want from us?" And then you just deck him.
I just do like that weird Kirk upward, like diagonal uppercut. Yeah, there you go. The double like.
You knock him, and you just knock him out of his chair. And then when he does that, the rest of the crew just kind of like control the thing. Yeah.
All right.
So you can get on the horn to contact the ship. Either ship.
Exo Commander. One of your ensign morales knocked one of these commanders out right now. I just thought I'd let you know.
Good.
Yeah, they're
Congratulations.
unconscious on the floor. I guess she really does want to fly this ship.
I do.
Hey, can you put the ensign on the comms?
I'm here, sir.
Ensign Monroe, how close is Kane to you?
He's right here.
Okay, can you move away a little bit?
Oh, I will just walk over here. Yep.
How did the rest of the mission go? Did he manage to flubber it in any way, shape, or form?
Sir, I can still hear you. You know you're on speaker, correct?
He also has really good hearing.
Yes, I do.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. Can somebody beam me off of this goddamn ship?
Okay, so you all contact the inquiry from this ship, and once that ship knows, like the few pirates that are on that ship knows that this ship has been taken over, they do start to hesitate. Like they quickly surrender to the crew of the USS Inquiry, and eventually the Inquiry crew is able to retake control of the ship and beam you back to the ship. We'll have one more scene where you're debriefing the Captain Meta in the conference room. It is, a few hours later, you've got a chance to clean up and stuff.
Do we still have our pirate prisoners?
If you choose to have them be in the brig for, trying to take over 2 Starfleet ships, then yes.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Can we?
So it's in a conference room, and then if you want an extra scene or to tell me what happens in your extra scene before we do that, we do that. But yeah, just as Captain says, well, that was suddenly unexpected.
It explains why there were many things about the situation that we could not have accounted for. Their weapon system and even the way that they fight is not something that would have been immediately readable by our scanners. I have done a little bit of fiddling with them since I got back, just to attune them a little bit more minutely to this particular set of circumstances. Should we ever run across them again, sir?
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander Nix. Exemplary job, everyone. Though I'm sure the Eureka's engineer is going to have some questions about what happened to their engineering room, Lieutenant Commander Kane.
Yes, well, I'll see to it, and I'll have a word with them. And if they have a problem with me, then I will just merely use my focus of trickshot phasers. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I wouldn't kill someone on our team. I would use my power of influence to show them and make them understand that it was necessary for me to destroy the engineering room in order for the greater good of the Starfleet.
Yes, that's maybe for you to deal with them. And also, once again, Lieutenant Commander Kane, you do not need to list on every security report that you are trained in trickshot phasers. Every week you tell me in the reports. That is, I'm well aware. I appreciate your skill set. That is no longer necessary that you need to tell me or Lieutenant Commander or the XO here or any of the other crew. But thank you. Anyway, I think you've all deserved some rest. Thank you for helping to restore our ship to ourselves. And we'll be towing the Eureka back or escorting the Eureka back to Starfleet space. Yes, Lieutenant Commander Nix.
May I also say that both the ensign and the crewmen were exemplary and should possibly be put forward for commendation for their excellent work. If you agree, EXO?
I second that.
I third that.
No one cares.
No one can third.
Absolutely. Outstanding performance from Ensign. He checks like the pad. Miral. He says,
Thank you, sir.
he says, perhaps someone will make Lieutenant Junior grade soon enough. And crew person Chang, as you are non-commissioned, I am unable to promote you into a duty officer, but this is definitely going on your record, and perhaps we can convince Chief Kensington that you can have your pick of the assignment shifts.
That would be amazing. I love midnight to 4 a.m. Best hours to work.
Anyway, I will take this all into consideration. You can submit your full reports by the end of the week. Dismissed. And then I'll give the before we hit credits for crew person Chang to describe what they're off to do, even though everyone else is going back to their bridge station duties?
I want to stop by the brig and hang out with the handsome pirate and just kind of like really get into his history and like where he came from and like what does he want in life and like just why he is and just have like some long chats about this and that.
So we close on the scene of crew person Chang walking to the brig, leaning against the post and saying, "So, let's talk." As we hear dun 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 dun, boom 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 boom, and then credits. End of our session. I'll hand it back to Eliza.
Quincy, Quincy, that was amazing. You did such a great job.
Yeah,
That
buddy.
was so much fun.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much, Quincy, for running this TOS one-shot adventure. This was so much fun. Yay! Thank you. Oops, sorry. Thank you all for joining us for Bravery on the Voyage, our Blood of the Void TOS one-shot adventure.
BOTV.
BOTV, playing BOTV. Please do come back here next Monday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific for Clear Skies playing their original series one-shot adventure. And do all the things, follow and subscribe. And thank you so much to everyone in chat and the Pillow Fort and everything that you do for us and with us. Have a good night.